now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Washington State University taking on Milwaukee SOE tonight. An early wake-up call for both me and Zach this morning. Zach, go ahead and talk.
Yep, it's going to be a great game. We don't really know too much about Milwaukee School of Engineering. They're coming off a 5-4 victory over Eastern, but again, a completely different opponent, and it's going to be interesting to see how Wazoo comes out today.
Absolutely, yes. We do not technically have a roster or stats or record or really anything on Milwaukee SOE. We do have a lot on the Cougs, so we will definitely be leaning a little bit more Coug heavy in terms of names, numbers, stats, that kind of stuff. But we'll do our best for any Milwaukee fans that are potentially watching right now. I know we got one person watching in the stream right now, but we got about 25 minutes till potentially warm and then puck drop. And so you got a little bit of time before this game starts, but definitely going to be a really fun matchup.
Absolutely, and it just should be interesting. The Wazoo Cougs really kind of show different teams. Friday, we saw a little bit of a slow start, and they had to kind of pick it up throughout the game. And Cole Carlson really just kind of saved that game for the team, really put him on his back. Yesterday, they came out, played a different style of hockey, and just dominated straight 11-0. So could be one of those teams. Which one we get is going to absolutely affect this outcome of this game.
The two stars from that Gonzaga series was definitely Cole Carlson game one, who after that first period, Cougs got punched in the mouth a little bit, went down 2-0. Then Cole Carlson, the team captain, wearing the C on this team, just kind of put the team on his back. I mean, picked up the hat trick at the buzzer there, just a couple clutch goals, be able also to get some assists as well, feeding Max Lazaro for a goal. And then game two was just Van Rainer all day, 2 hat tricks on that game, 6 goals, just absolutely just pure dominance from the Cougs.
Absolutely. I mean, Cole Carlson wearing the C on his shoulder and the S on his chest. I mean, playing Superman on Friday, did it all. And that assist that he had, not even the goal, the assist that he had to Max Lazaro, beautiful toe drag, unreal pass on the backhand. And again, he could really be a turning point, as well as Alexi Cool back in the lineup. He's had a 937 save percentage. He's been incredible for the Cougs this year. Huge step up from even last season, and he really could be a key player for the entire season for the Cougs.
Absolutely. Cougars coming off of 2 hot games against Gonzaga. They'll be playing Milwaukee SOE here in just about 20-ish minutes. You can see the clock up there. So it'll be Smith, Slye, and Zach McFarlane up in the booth today for the broadcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. You're listening to KUGR Sports live on YouTube covering Wazoo hockey. We will be right back in just a little bit. Don't go away. Hockey night tonight in the Pacific Northwest. The Washington State University Cougs 3-0 so far on the year. They kicked it off with a game against the University of Idaho where they came away with a statement win, 8-2 in that matchup, which featured numerous freshmen getting on the board for the first time in their careers. And so far this year for the Cougs has been freshmen getting it done all year long. And of course, those past two games, if you were with us for those last games on Friday and yesterday as well, playing against Gonzaga, this Washington State University team is looking solid. A 5-3 win against Gonzaga on Friday, and then a dominant 11-0 win against them last night, with Van Rayner being the headline player. 6 goals, 2 hat tricks, an absolute stud as one of the captains on this team. And then, of course, you can't forget about the performance that Cole Carlson put up on Friday, getting a hat trick at the buzzer to secure the 5-3 win. But nonetheless, the Cougs here in Eastern Washington University getting ready to take on Milwaukee SOE in this ACHA matchup. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Smith Slye, joined by Zach McFarlane early in the morning here at Eastern Washington. An early wake-up call for both of us. Zach, how are we feeling about this matchup?
We're feeling great. We're feeling bright and early, and this matchup's going to be interesting. We really don't know what exactly Milwaukee School of Engineering brings to the table per se. We know that they beat Eastern right here Friday night, 5-4. I believe they played them again yesterday. We don't know how that one went, unfortunately. But, these guys just want to play hockey. This was a bonus game. Wazoo wanted to play a third game this weekend. Milwaukee wanted to play a third game this weekend. They said, hey, let's do it Sunday. Wazoo, technically the host team. This is one of their home rinks. But again, it's more of a little bit of a neutral site, definitely in favor of Wazoo, just because they're same state. But it should be interesting. Again, we should see a consistent Wazoo team if they're going to take that momentum they had yesterday in a dominating victory, 11-0. And, it's not a bad thing when you have two top guys fighting for unbelievable performances. And are we going to get a Van Rayner 6-goal game again today? Unlikely, but maybe it will happen. Are we going to get a Cole Carlson Superman performance again? Again, we don't know. But Wazoo's key, they have their starting goaltender back in Alexi Cool. He has been phenomenal through 4 games. He has faced so many shots, and he's stopped almost all of them. Just 11 allowed on 177. He has been incredible. He's going to be a key player in this morning's game, and we will see where this goes. Milwaukee SOE could come out strong. It's going to be who's jumping early on.
Absolutely. Alexi Cool had a great performance at the Boise Showcase earlier in this year, where they went down to Boise to play against Wyoming, to play against CSUN, to play against Boise State, who's one of the top teams in the nation. And it was why it was so surprising that after playing against Boise State, their next matchup was Gonzaga, and they got punched in the mouth. Early in that first period, they went down 2-0. Of course, you had Drew Rams in the net for that game and the game on Friday as well. But nonetheless, Alexi Cool, really, really strong in the net so far this year for the Cougs. As we head to the national anthem and roster announcements, you're listening to Cougar Hockey here on KUGR. Don't go away. We will be right back. The Eastern Washington University ice rink getting loud as Max Lazaro heads to the faceoff circle. Here we go, folks. We are underway as Reed Mullen takes the puck, has it taken away from him by Gobrek. With a shot on goal, turned out by Alexi Kuhl. Gets the pad to it, kept at the blue line by the Raiders. Shot on goal just goes wide. Reed Mullen back to clean it up. The defenseman plays it off the boards to Cole Carlson, the team captain, past the red line. Here's a pass to Bushkin, doesn't get on his stick as it's picked up by number 10 for the Raiders. He gets shoved into the board, picked up by number 20, past the blue line. Here he comes, far wing, backhands it to number 11. Dangles, tries to find someone out front, puts a shot on goal just wide of the net. Cleaned up by number 24, who gets a pass into the corner, pushes it further behind net. Lucas Robinson back to clean it up. The defenseman taken away by number 20 for the Raiders. Pass is picked off by David Bushkin, who brings it past the red line, flips it up into the zone for the Raiders, and they have to go back to clean it up early. And they'll call icing on this play and drag it back into the Cougar zone.
Yeah, we're seeing an early jump already from Milwaukee. A turnover just a few seconds into the game from Reed Mullen. A shot far side, good blocker save from Alexi Kuhl. He faced another one there. And again, this is a jump here from Milwaukee, sort of what we saw in the game Friday night. Cougs got to get their feet under him.
Number 44, Maddox Cadera for the Raiders to the faceoff circle against Max Lazaro. Near side in the Cougar zone, won by the Raiders behind the net of Kuhl. Looking to wrap around, moves out to the wing, pass out in front, picked off by the Cougs. No Raider was there as they feed a pass to Cole Carlson in the neutral zone, trying to push in. He gets shoved into the boards. Has the puck taken away. Number 44, Cadera, brings it around the boards for number 18 for the Raiders, who tries to clear it out, and he will, into the neutral zone. Number 12 tries to play it in, but has it poke checked away, and now the Raiders have to retreat back into their own zone. Number 44, Cadera, moves it past the red line, past the blue line, up Broadway, shot on goal, right into the chest of Lexi Kuhl, but the rebound picked up, he scores! Number 44, Maddox Cadera, breaks the ice, picks up his own rebound, and gets it done.
Alexi Kuhl is going to want that one back. He gives up the rebound and one right in his chest. Unfortunately, he just could not hang on. Milwaukee is just jumping right now. They've had their caffeine this morning, and they are going 1-0 early on. Again, Alexi's just got to shake that one off and just keep it going.
Maddox Cadera had 2 goals come into this matchup, and he gets number 3 as Max Lazaro heads back to the faceoff circle. Pardon me, that was Van Rayner. It's 1. Lex Ballard plays it off the glass into the zone. Cadence Kelly going to try and retrieve it for the Cougs, as it's cleaned up by number 13 for the Raiders, who gives it to number 5. They try and break out of their zone, and they will, into the neutral zone. But 2 Cougs are there to take it away. Number 16, Michael Clark tries to play it off the boards for number 22 and can't get it. Flipped up, played by the Raiders, picked up by Cadence Kelly, who pushes it into the zone, forcing the Raiders to stay in their own zone. Good forecheck right now for the Cougs. As number 5 for the Raiders tries to clear it out. Cadence Kelly there, pestering him as he plays it off the boards. The Cougs just refusing to let them leave the zone, and the Raiders finally clear it down ice for icing, and it will be brought back into the Raiders zone. The forecheck for the Cougs looking strong after that early goal given up by Alexi Kuhl.
I was going to say, first good sign, really, of the game. You know, we're only a couple minutes in, but the Cougars were really under attack this whole time up until that last little bit there. They were forechecking. They were keeping the puck in the zone. And, again, they forced an icing early on. This could be a huge opportunity for them to try and tie it up.
Far side in the Raiders zone. Face off. 1 by the Raiders. They played around the boards. No, it's taken away by Matthew Taylor, number 5, the freshman. He fights for it at the post, passes it behind the net. Pass out to Cole Carlson, puts a shot on goal, turned out. As it's cleaned up here by the Raiders. Here comes number 5, gets a pass, off a skate, kept it in the zone. Hank Hamlet gives it to Matthew Taylor, tries to put a shot on goal, it's denied. Picked up by Evan King. Cleaned up here by Reed Mullen, puts a shot on goal, just goes wide. And it's cleaned up now by the Raiders behind their own net, trying to break it out. A couple of good scoring opportunities for the Cougs, and they just can't connect. It's taken. Hank Hamlet all alone. Will he get a pass? Yes, he will. Option over to Matthew Taylor. Tried to tip it in. Didn't work. Matthew Taylor has to clear it out to the blue line from Lucas Robinson, who gives it back to Taylor in the corner. Rings around behind the net. Hank Hamlet clean up. Pass out in front. Trying to find somebody. Doesn't work. Bounces off bodies. And now here come the Raiders. Number 5 from Milwaukee. Gets it past the red line. Has to dump it in. No icing as it will be cleaned up by Reed Mullen. His own zone. Gives it to Lucas Robinson, who backhands it, trying to find Reed Mullen, who wasn't looking, hits off the referee. He gets in the way. And now the Cougs are pinned down their own zone as it's kept in at the blue line by number 10 for the Raiders. Puts a shot on goal that trickles wide out in front. Can they clean it up? Yes, they will. Picked up by number 11, who feeds it over for 24. The counterpart for Cole Carlson as he puts a weak shot on goal right into the chest of Alexi Kuhl. He stays strong, gets the save. 16 minutes, 49 seconds left. 1-0. Milwaukee leading early in the first period.
I'll tell you what, that's what Kuhl wanted to do on the initial shot that went in on the rebound. He wanted to hold it in his chest. Unfortunately, could not. And that's the only difference right now. But, again, he looks comfortable and he looks more calm.
Gabe Torlutz for Milwaukee gives it out to number 24, who feeds it to number 67. Gives it back to 24, puts a shot on goal through bodies, snared by Alexi Kuhl. After giving up that initial goal so far, Alexi Kuhl has stopped everything else that he has seen so far in this matchup.
He looks sharp, and although the Cougs have been in their own zone here for the last 10 seconds or so, they had a great forecheck just a couple minutes ago.
Face-off won again by the Raiders. Number 24 gives it back to number 67, who puts a shot on goal off the leg of Sam Hembury, up and out of play. That was number 67, Joseph Grobaric.
Let's do it again, Smith.
Back-to-back face-offs here in the Cougar zone. As number 11 heads back to the face-off circle, opposed by Max Lazaro, won by the Cougs. Number 23 for the Cougs will clear it out. Keegan Lucas tries to get out, but it's not kept at the blue line. Cole Carlson tries to clear it through. Will try and feed it for Lazaro, but it's picked off by the Raiders. Kept in by Cole Carlson, who gloved it down, tries to keep his handle, and has it taken away from him by number 20 for the Raiders as Max Lazaro puts a heavy shot on goal from past the blue line. And now they're back in the zone. David Bushkin, the freshman, pass out in front for Carlson. Can't get it on his stick. In the near wing, pushes out in front, puts a shot on goal off the glove. Can he clean up his own rebound? No, he can't. It is cleaned up by the Raiders as they flip it up through the neutral zone, into the Cougar zone. Will it be icing? No. It will not go far enough to be icing as Sam Hembury tripped trying to play that puck, but somehow gets back on his feet and keeps his handle. As a feed pass trying to find Caden Skelly just goes wide. Milwaukee to clean up in their own corner. He's shoved off it by Caden Skelly. Picked up by Van Rayner, the team captain. 6 goals last night. Can he get one tonight? As Lex Ballard has to play back into his own zone. Gets a pass to Caden Skelly. Breaks into the zone. Trying to find Van Rayner, but it's picked off by the Raiders as Lex Ballard will bring it in on the near side. Push out in front. Backhand shot. No. Tipped off a stick. Didn't go on net. Lex Ballard feeds it across for Umile, one of the freshmen on this team. See, tries to put a shot on goal. Taken away by the Raiders. And here they come with a head of steam, but it's poke checked away in the neutral zone. Here comes Umile again. Feeds it back in. The freshman from Missoula. As the Raiders will try and clear it out of their own zone. Play off the boards. Kept at the line by Michael Clark, who puts a shot on goal. Just goes wide. The Raiders just unable to exit their zone as yet again Lex Ballard will play it into the zone. And this forecheck for the Cougars is relentless.
Very even strength here right now. They're back and forth. They're really feeling each other out. And one of these teams is going to get main control here soon.
Number 10 for the Raiders. Feeds it on goal. Turned off by Alexi Kuhl, who leaves it for Reed Mullen, who loses his handle. Taken by the Raiders. Behind the net. Tries to pass out in front. But it's picked up by number 44, who puts a shot on goal. Trying to clean up the rebound. Another shot, and they score! Number 9, Chris Barnard cleans up the back-to-back rebound, gets on the board, and Alexi Kuhl has allowed 2 so far to get in tonight. 2-0, Milwaukee leading.
Not a lot you're going to do there if you're Alexi Kuhl. I mean, just another poor defensive turnover right in below the goal line, and it's just a matter of shooting, rebounds, loose puck right at the top of the paint. It just bounces outside. Johnny on the spot, and unfortunate for Kuhl that he's let 2 in early.
Face off at center ice, won again by the Raiders, but it's taken quickly back by the Cougs. Lucas Robinson tries to play off the boards, hit off the referee again. The second time tonight, the refs have been killing the Cougs so far with these ill-bouncing pucks. As in the Cougar zone, picked up by the Raiders. They try and get it past number 7, just goes wide. Evan King's trying to shove him off the puck as they cleared out the zone. But here comes Matthew Taylor with a head of steam. Far side, trying to move out in front. He gets denied by the defense, shoved off the puck. They try and clear it out. Shot on goal, turned out by the goaltender. As the Raiders played off the boards in the neutral zone. Here comes a 2-on-1 break. Number 7, near side, has a poke checked away. No, he maintains his handle, puts a shot on goal. Turned out by Alexi Kuhl. As it just gets into his pads, they blow the play dead. What a great scoring opportunity for the Raiders. But Alexi Kuhl is able to deny it.
Great stop by Alexi Kuhl. Unbelievable positioning. He's able to respect the shot. And even when it looked like it was going to be poked away, loose puck rattled toward the cage, and he was able to remain calm and slide across the crease and make the play.
Ben Klinghofer, the goalie in net for the Raiders, opposed by Alexi Kuhl for the Cougar side, as the face-off on the far side of the Cougar zone, won by the Raiders. Number 24 chips it to number 11, who can't handle it. As they play off the boards, try and keep it in, they will. The Raiders on the far wing trying to clean in. 2 Cougars trying to take it off them. As the pass out to the blue line goes wide. And somehow they keep it in. The Raiders with some magic here to keep this puck in the zone as number 11 takes it in the near wing. Plays it off the boards behind the net. Lex Ballard trying to clean it up for the Cougs. David Bushkin, the freshman forward, trying to clear it out, and he will. Tried to get a pass for Cole Carlson, didn't quite connect. Chemistry not quite there. It's picked up by Max Lazaro, who somehow gets onside. Has to play it around the boards, trying to find Cole Carlson. Those two have had amazing chemistry so far on this team. As Carlson behind the nets. Tries to pass out in front, has it taken away from him. As the Raider loses his stick, and they pin it against the boards, trying to shut down Carlson. And now they'll scrum for it. They'll fight for it. Cole Carlson will come up with it. Backhands it out in front into the stick of a Raider, who takes it out. And here come the Raiders. Past the red line. Past the blue line, though. Chip it into the far corner. Micah Clark going to try and take it. The defenseman, as he somehow comes up with it, tries to pass it out of the zone. Kept in again by the Raiders. When they get in the zone, they like to stay there, as They fight for it on the far wing. Kept in again at the blue line. Shot on goal from well out into the glove of Alexi Cool, who knocks it down, smothers it, and will force a face-off in the Cougar zone. 12 minutes, 50 seconds left, 2-0. The Raiders leading after they got out to an early lead with two very similar goals.
Not able to catch it there was Cool, but he was able to see it the entire way, knock it down, and allow minimal rebound opportunity.
Face-off won by the Cougs. Lucas Robinson tries to backhand it out, but it's picked off again by the Raiders. As they try and push out in front, it's denied. Umile tries to clear it out, kept at the blue line again. Shot through bodies, deflects off him. As that puck trickles onto the net, and it's turned out by Alexi Cool. Behind the net for the Raiders now. Backhands out to Meyer, number 18, puts a shot on goal, deflected off the skate of Cadence Kelly. As they shove him into the boards, there'll be a penalty here for roughing. And it looks like the Raiders will be heading to the power play as Cadence Kelly, or pardon me, Reed Mullen will be heading to the penalty box. And so a man advantage for Milwaukee.
Unfortunately, the big frame of Reed Mullen is going to get more referee eyes on him, especially at close plays at the boards like that. He's going to get that boarding call all day long. Unfortunately, a dangerous play right toward the red, and he's going to get one.
Kadera to the faceoff circle, opposed by Rayner, won by the Raiders. As it's kept at the zone by number 10, who pushes it in behind net. Sam Henry going back to play. It tries to clear it out. Will he? No, it's kept in again by the Raiders. They've been doing that the whole time during this first period. As it's pinned against the boards, Van Rayner trying to fight for it. Kadera comes up with it. Puts a shot on goal off a defensive body. They can't clean it up. Near corner. Can the Raiders get it out to the blue line? They'll get to number 5 from the wing. Pushes into the goal line. Try to tip it in. Won't work. It's picked up by number 23, Keegan Lucas, who clears it out. And now the Raiders have to retreat back into their own zone. Here comes Milwaukee past the red line. Number 5 loses his edge as he's cleared out. Down ice. No icing because of the penalty, and the Cougs just trying to keep Milwaukee out of their own zone.
Thought for a second that they were going to get a tripping, but refs just saw that it was a loss of an edge of the skate.
Matthew Taylor deflects a shot as they tried to clear it out, but here comes Milwaukee. Matthew Taylor, good forecheck, but doesn't work as the Raiders break into the zone. Up the middle, trying to leave it for 44 Kadera, who wraps around, can't get the shot on goal. As Sam Henry's there to clean it up, he clears it out through the neutral zone, down into the Raiders zone. Good clear from Sam Henry, and the Cougs get a change.
Cool looking calm in the net. The defense is playing a little bit better in front of him now, and they just have to keep that consistent.
Here comes number 24 with a head of steam past the red line, past the blue line, up Broadway. Has it poke checked away. Good stick there by Lex Ballard as he plays it off the boards all the way down ice. The Cougs using this power play to their advantage to keep Milwaukee out of the zone.
Rough start to the kill, but they've really picked it up, and they've been clearing pucks consistently.
Here come the Raiders. Past the goal line in their own zone. Gets a feed pass past the blue line, past the logo on the near side, blue side. Here we go. Backhand shot just goes wide. Doesn't even get on nets as the Raiders clean up their own rebound. Leave it back for the blue line. Gives it over to number 24, who options it to the near wing. Number 67, a shot just goes wide. Lexi Cool just watched it sail past as that puck leaks into the neutral zone. And again, the Raiders having to touch up. 10 minutes, 35 seconds left. 2-0 Raiders leading. Here comes number 24 past the blue line, near side. Will he put a shot on goal? No, he'll play it off the boards. And it's picked off by Lucas Robinson, who tries to clear it out. Kept in again by the Raiders as he's got 2 Cougs pinning him against the boards. And here comes a feed pass for Cole Carlson with a head of steam. Can he get a shorty? Backhand, dangles, shot. He scores! A shorthanded goal. Cole Carlson, the team captain, puts the team on his back and cuts the lead to only 1. Cole Carlson, magic tonight.
I'll tell you what, Halloween is on the 31st of October, but he is wearing his Superman costume early. Friday night, phenomenal performance, and yet again, just getting his team back in it with a huge goal, cutting the lead in half.
One of the 6 goals that he's had so far this year was a shorthanded goal against Gonzaga yesterday, and he gets yet another shorthander tonight as the faceoff is brought into the Raiders zone. It's a shot on goal turned out by the goaltender, Klinghoff, as the Cougs were able to force a turnover. But here come the Raiders past the blue line, shot on goal off the body of Lexi Cool, cleaned up by Keegan Lucas, who plays off the board, kept in again by the Raiders. Backhands it into the near wing, plays it off the boards for number 7 for this Raiders team, as he gets shoved off the puck by Van Rayner as they fight for it, scrum for it. Here comes Van Rayner in the near corner of his own zone, tries to clear it out. Won't work. It's pinned against the boards. 2 Cougs, 1 Raider. They try and get past the blue line, and they will. And for one of the first times tonight, Milwaukee has to touch up.
This is good from the Cougs. They are really stepping up, getting their legs under them. They've got some speed and some momentum.
Here comes Nico Umile. Has to retreat back into his own zone for a moment as it's played off the boards, down ice. Will it be icing? Yes, it will, as that puck was just in the Cougar zone. They tried to clear it out, tried to get a little greedy there. Of course, the power play has expired. We're back to 5-on-5, and we'll have a face-off in the Washington State zone. 2-1. Milwaukee still leading, but Cole Carlson getting a much-needed shorthanded goal.
100%. And similar start to Friday night's game against Gonzaga. They go down 2-0 very early, just kind of playing lackadaisical in their own zone. It looks like they're picking it up earlier than they did Friday.
Face-off won by the Raiders. Puts a shot on goal from the blue line. Tipped, not on goal. As another shot is turned out by Alexi Cole. No! He scores! How did he do it? He fed it through the shoulder of Alexi Cole. He thought he sealed it off, and the Raiders get it right back and restore that 2-goal lead. 3-1, Milwaukee leading in this first period with 9 minutes left to play.
Awkward shot there. It looked like it just caught Cool off guard. It was kind of one where he was standing short side, looked like he had everything covered there at the near post, but it looks like maybe it snuck through his body and his arm, that little hole there, and it just gets by, and it's unfortunate. Cougs are just starting to get back in it, and now they're going to have a deeper hole again to dig themselves out of.
Alex Schoenfielder, the forward from Milwaukee, gets on the board as the Cougs have it in the Milwaukee zone, picked up by Hank Hamlet, who pushes out in front. Can he get a goal? No, he's shoved off the puck as they try and clean up out in front. And the Raiders just trying to clear it out. Kept in by Micah Clark near far side. Can he get someone to pass to? Rings around behind the nets. Pass out in front. No. Tipped off the stick of the goalie. As Micah Clark cleans it up. Puts a shot on goal. No. It's poke checked away from him. Evan King there to clean it up with Lex Ballard. King will play it off the boards behind the net for Matthew Taylor, but it's taken away by number 24 of the Raiders, who tries to clear it out, and it will. It will trickle past the blue line. Here come the Raiders. A 2-on-1 break. Here's number 27 with 22. Puts a shot on goal. Yes, he will. It sails wide. Had the extra pass, didn't make it. And here comes Hank Hamlet, the freshman for this Cougar team. Brings it past the blue line, near side. Gets shoved into the boards hard by number 24 as the Cougs try and play it behind the nets. Taken back by the Raiders in their own zone. The Cougs trying to keep it in, and they will. Kept at the line by Lucas Robinson. Fires a shot right into the shoulder of Klingenhofer, who holds on to make the save. Still 3-1. Milwaukee leading with 8 minutes and 16 seconds left in this first period.
Klingenhofer looks comfortable. The Wazoo Cougars, again, the one time they've beaten him, it's been Cole Carlson on a breakaway, and that's almost guaranteed, it seems. So they're going to have to get some better looks. They're getting good cycling in the offensive zone. They're just going to have to get more opportunities in the slot.
Max Lazaro to the faceoff circle, but it's won by the Raiders in their own zone. Far corner trying to clear it out, taken away by Cole Carlson. In the far corner behind the net, can he find someone to pass to on his backhand? He'll wheel out to the near wing, passes out to Lucas Robinson at the point. Bouncing puck, pass back into Cole Carlson, who tries to put a shot on goal, a bit of a arching shot. That's gloved down by the Raiders, and they bring it past the blue line, past the logo, trying to feed it for number 67, Grobrecht, who plays it in the far corner, near corner, of the Washington State zone, as David Bushkin, the freshman, tries to clear it out, has it poke checked away from him. Reed Mullen has to clean up. The defenseman feeds it to Lucas Robinson, his other teammate on this line. It's played off the boards for Carlson, trying to clear it out, and they will, and the Raiders have to touch up yet again as they throw it on offsides, and the Cougs have a chance here to plot a breakout. As that pass, trying to find David Bushkin, goes down ice for icing, as David Bushkin couldn't get his stick to it, and it'll be drugged back into the Cougar zone. The Cougs unable to get a change, and they will not be able to get some fresh bodies on the ice.
Two teams are trading right now, completely offensive zone times. You have the Cougars forechecking hard. They get about a minute of offense in their time. Then they come back down here, and they're hemmed in their own zone on defense now for another minute. It's back and forth, but again, unfortunately for the Cougs, Milwaukee has had the better end of that.
Cougs win the faceoff. Here comes David Bushkin on the far side. He gets shoved off the puck. Yes, and they will call it for offsides, as it looks like Cole Carlson just didn't keep his skates as David Bushkin tried to shove the Raider off the puck. Good defense there from the Raiders to kind of slow down David Bushkin.
Yes, good blue line presence. Carlson was just a half a step early. It was a good call by the linesman. But again, good blue line presence. Milwaukee's able to enter the zone, and Cougars are more focused on passing lanes and shutting down shooting lanes. The Cougars need to have better blue line presence like Milwaukee.
Face-off won by the Cougs as they put a shot on goal, turned out by Klingenhofer. As the Raiders try and clean it up, trying to get out to the blue line. Kept that by Sam Henry. Puts a shot on goal, looking for a tip. Doesn't get it. As it's in the near side. Umile passes out to Henry at the blue line. Shot on goal. Tipped off bodies. Turned out by the goaltender. As the rebound is cleaned up by number 14. Cadence Kelly picks up the backhand, gets the goal. And yet again, the Cougs have cut this lead to only one. What a goal. Cadence Kelly.
Cadence Kelly, his second goal of the season. He cleans up a rebound backhand. Couldn't quite tell if that went far side or 5-hole on Klingenhofer, but it's definitely one that he's going to want back. Not the rebound exactly, but the shot never really left the surface of the ice and just slides right by, and it cuts the lead in half again for the Cougs. They're back in it once more.
Cougars and Raiders going blow for blow so far in this first period as Milwaukee wins the faceoff, draws it back into their own zone. The pass picked up by the Cougs. Number 23 puts a shot on goal. Keegan Lucas got denied by Klingenhofer as the Raiders try and clean it up, try to break it through. Here they come on a quick break. Here comes number 9, Barnard. Borey has a goal tonight, has it taken away by Keegan Lucas. He plays offense, he plays defense. As the rebound, bouncing puck out in front, tries to put a shot on goal, leaks into the near corner. Number 44 tries to play it, but it's backhanded out by the Cougs. Sam Henry gets a pass to Nico Umule, who tries to break it through as it's kept in yet again by Milwaukee. How do they keep doing that? As the Cougs just find themselves pinned down in their own zone. Gets a feed pass here for Van Rayner, team captain. Breaks it on the near side. Can he move out in front? Yes, he will. Puts a power move, shut down by Klingerhofer. Rayner passes out in front, but it's turned out by the Raiders yet again. Milwaukee plays it off the boards for number 12, who backhands it. For number 44, here he comes, head of steam. Near side, puts on a move, out in front, has it poke checked away. Michael Clark and Lex Ballard combine for a beautiful defensive play as they pin it against the far boards. Nico Umule, the freshman, gets a pass for David Bushkin here, or pardon me, that's Hank Hamlet, the other freshman on this team, as he tries to shake off the defender. Has it poke checked away, but Lex Ballard's there to clean it up. Puts a shot on goal right into the glove of Klingerhofer. And again, Lex Ballard, Hank Hamlet, two young guys on this team trying to get it done, just get denied.
This is a very even matchup here. It seems like both teams now used to each other's style of play. Again, back and forth, hemming each other in their own zones, keeping a strong forecheck on both sides. And it just so happens that the Cougars are down one.
Matthew Taylor to the faceoff circle, loses the faceoff, and Milwaukee draws it back into their own zone. Plotting a breakout. Here they come, past the logo. He's got two Cougs trying to take it away. He breaks into the zone, far side, backhands it in behind net of Cool. Michael Clark there to clean it up. Backhands it for Hank Hamlet, who's going to try and clear it out. Matthew Taylor plays it off the boards into the neutral zone. Can he do it by himself? No, it's taken away. As yet again, the Raiders back in their own zone, trying to plot a breakout. They'll backhand it into the zone, just on net of Cool, who leaves it for Lex Ballard, who shakes off the defender. Here he comes, the defenseman. Feeds it through the neutral zone, down ice. Will they be able to beat the icing? Yes, they will. Evan King turns on the Jets, beats the icing, plays it off the net. Far side, can he have someone to pass it? No, he almost got shouldered off the puck there as Milwaukee backhands it for number 67, who brings it in. Pass to no one in particular, played by Alexi Cool, who passes it off the boards for Hank Hamlet, who gets a pass there to Lucas Robinson, who has it taken away from him. So he finally plays it off the boards and into the neutral zone. Raiders trying to push it back in. The forecheck has been relentless for both sides on this team, both these teams. As Milwaukee picks it off in the neutral zone, pushes it back in. Again, the forecheck for the Raiders being relentless, but that puck is iced, and it will be drugged back into the Milwaukee zone. 4 minutes, 28 seconds left, 3-2. Milwaukee only leading by a small margin.
Normally, these teams are able to string passes together, at least so far, but it seems as though a couple of missed passes causing icing, and these offenses on faceoffs have been huge to this point in the game.
Max Lazaro wins the faceoff, kicks out to the blue line. Lucas puts a shot on goal through bodies, doesn't reach the net. Lazaro to clean it up in the near corner. Backhands it in for Bushkin, the freshman, who has to play it behind the net. Gets a pass there to Sam Henry, who just goes wide. Pardon me, that's Cole Carlson, team captain, as he tries to feed it to Sam Henry, who can't quite get in on his stick, leaks into the Cougar zone. Keegan Lucas back to play it. They'll play it off the boards. Finds Max Lazaro, who might have been going off for a change, as he gets a pass to David Bushkin as Milwaukee pushes it back into the zone again. Again, the forecheck being relentless as a feed pass to Cole Carlson. Breaks into the zone. No, has it poke checked away. The Cougs have to touch up. Here come the Raiders. Number 7 couldn't quite handle that pass as King Lucas is back to play it. Leaves it for David Bushkin. Plays it off the boards. No, goes off the body. Still kept in the zone. David Bushkin trying to clear it, and he can't. Kept by the Raiders. Shot on goal. Turned out by Alexi Cool. Just got the stick to it. In the near wing. Fighting for it against the boards. Max Lazaro comes up with it, plays it around. Kept in by number 10, who pushes it in deep. Number 5 gets it in the near corner. Trying to get picked off by Keegan Lucas, who tries to clear it out. Kept in again by Milwaukee. They've been doing it all night. As a shot on goal, deflected off bodies, just doesn't get past Lexi Cool. As that shot kicks out in front, number 44 already has a goal tonight. Tries to wrap around shot, doesn't work. Kicked out to the blue line from number 18, passes it in to the near wing. Cole Carlson there to clean it up. Here he comes, past the blue line. Tries the option to pass over David Bushkin, who might have been going off for a change. Brings it past the red line, dumps it into the zone, off the pad of Klinghoffer, who leaves it for his defenseman. Here they come. The Raiders, number 5, tries to feed a pass, deflected off the stick of Van Rayner, one of the team captains on this team. As the Raiders are pushed back into their own zone, both these teams taking turns, trading off with the forecheck.
Huge here. Milwaukee, again, trying to just get it out. Teams are getting a little bit panicky here at times after about a minute or so of being hemmed into their own zone.
Caden Skelly tries to get a pass, picked off by Milwaukee. Here he comes, so far side, turned out by Alexi Cool. What a good kick save as Caden Skelly tries to clear it out. Gets redemption, passes it to Rayner, gets it over to Cole Carlson on the far side. Can he find Caden Skelly? No, it's picked up by the Raiders. Cleaned up by Van Rayner, who can't keep his handle. Taken away by the Raiders. Here's a breakout, and they get onto his stick. Number 67, all alone, shot on goal. Turned out by Alexi Cool. What a save, as he turns out get another shot brought on by number 67. Pass out in front, doesn't keep his handle. tried to put a shot on goal, went off the defensive skates. As two Cougs go to try and play it. Lex Ballard behind the net trying to clean it up. As Van Rayner, the team captain, will play it off the boards for Cole Carlson. Can he clear it out? Yes, he will. Down ice. Will it be enough for icing? No, it will not. The puck doesn't roll fast enough, and the Milwaukee has to play it as both the Cougs and Milwaukee get a change.
Oh, look out.
Two Cougs ran into each other. Now here comes number 44 for the Raiders. Puts a shot on goal. Sails over the head of Lexi Cool. Didn't have to do anything. Centering pass. Doesn't find anybody. As Matthew Taylor plays it off the boards. Past the blue line. Can they clear it out? Stuck in the neutral zone. The Raiders have it. Will have to touch up and plot a breakout.
The Raiders' presence in front of Cool right now is their key to scoring. Lots of loose pucks they're getting to first in the slot. That's what's creating the grade A chance that they're getting.
Cougs back in their own zone. Lucas Robinson, the defenseman, behind the net of Cool. Can he plot a breakout? Gets a pass off the boards to Reed Mullen, his teammates, who hands it right back to Robinson. He's got two Raiders closing in on him as he feeds a pass for Evan King. Not kept at the blue line. The Raiders have to retreat back into their own zone. About a minute left in this first period. 3-2, the Raiders leading as here comes Lucas Robinson past the blue line into the zone. Can he push out in front? Tries to put on a dangle. Is shoved off the puck by the Raiders. As that pass. They'll get through the zone, into the neutral zone. Here comes number 9 for Milwaukee on the far side. Puts a shot on goal right into the body of Alexi Cool, who will smother it, melt it down, and will the face-off in the Cougar zone. 51 seconds left in the first period. Milwaukee leading 3-2 in this first period of action.
Other than on that first goal, you're really not going to beat Cool from long range. All of these chances that they've been getting recently have just been right in front of the net, bouncing pucks at the top of the paint. Cougars are going to have to get more presence and more bodies in front of Cool to not allow that to happen.
Face-off is kept at the blue line by the Cougs, but it's taken away by David Bushman, who feeds a pass for Cole Carlson on the far side, moves out in front, tries to dangle, it's taken away. Kept in by the Cougs. Max Lazaro to clean it up, gives it to David Bushman behind the net. David Bushman moved to the first line on this team for this game. He was a second liner for much of the other games of this year and is now finds himself on that top line as here come the Raiders. Up the middle, number 5 gets a drop pass. Loose bouncing puck. Sam Hembry back to play it. His 3 Raiders were there to clean it up, and they do. Can they keep it at the blue line? No, they won't. A little bit of miscommunication there. The D-man was not sure whether or not to break into the zone. As here come the Raiders, past the blue line, shot on goal, into the glove of Alexi Cool, who holds on to it and forces yet another face-off. 13 seconds left, 3-2, and Milwaukee has an opportunity to get one last-minute goal in this first period.
Yeah, and again, Cool, again, from long range, gloves it down. He's seeing the puck well from long range. He's had a couple of deflections even that he's been able to pat away. 13.4 left. We've seen a lot of the offensive teams here win the draws, and that creates big chances we've seen here in the first period.
Van Rayner to the faceoff circle as they fight for it off the faceoff. Milwaukee, hard-nosed hockey, maintaining possession, but it's taken by Michael Clark, who plays it off the boards down ice. Will it be icing as the last 2 seconds will stay on the clock? So we will have 1 second left as this puck will be brought back into the Cougar zone for a faceoff, and we'll see if that in that 1 second, if they can get a shot off and maybe make it 4-2.
Absolutely. There's plenty of time. There's always plenty of time in hockey. Every 10th of a second counts. I think if it were the third period, we could see a time check there. I thought there might have been more time left on the clock. Because it's the first, they're probably not going to. And again, like you said, they got an early shot there, but nothing.
Absolutely. As the first period comes to a close, 3 goals for Milwaukee, 2 for Washington State. Not as explosive as they were in the first period of yesterday's Gonzaga game, but nonetheless, both Cole Carlson and Caden Skelly able to get on the board to try and cut that lead down as Milwaukee got out to an early 2-0 lead. The Cougs just fighting to try and stay in this matchup after the first 20 minutes. Zach, what did we see in that first period of action?
Yeah, to start, the Cougars looked like they were still waking up a little bit. Still, I mean, and again, early morning game, still trying to get their feet under them. They were trying to find their way. Down 2-0 early on. Cole Carlson gets them started, and I believe that was a turning point. They started making plays, and this game ever since has been very evenly matched. Both teams hemming each other in their own zones, back and forth with the forecheck, and it's a 1-goal game and a 1-shot difference, 13-12, with MSOE leading that.
Absolutely. When we talked to David Bushkin after that initial Gonzaga game, I remember asking him, well, how is it going to impact you guys? You're going into that third game against Milwaukee. You will already have 2 games under your belt. Is that going to impact your play at all? And, of course, he mentioned that, no, every single game you're going to be tired. And, you're going to get worn down by the time you get to that third game. But to be honest with you, watching that first period of action, you wouldn't think that these guys are tired. They're coming out. They're playing hard. Of course, still some missteps as well. But nonetheless, both these teams playing really quick, really hard hockey in that first period of action.
100%. And this weekend as well, they're not tired, and the surprise, because this weekend was very physical. Gonzaga, it got chippy a lot of the time. Big hits. Ryan Brenner laid a big hit on Miles Deneen in yesterday's game, and it has just been a bloodbath between those two. And now Sunday morning, early on, early game, they're still going. They're finding ways to keep that energy up, and that's going to be the most important thing. It's just going to be who wants it more here, and it looks like they just switched the shots on goal. Wazoo actually has the lead 13-12, and realistically, it's just going to be a goalie battle. If Cool can stay strong in that net, I think the Cougars can get enough chances to beat their goaltender and really come out with this win if they can keep that up.
Absolutely. An early game today, game 3 of these 3 games that we have called here on KUGR. The first frame done as Milwaukee leads it 3-2. We will be back for the second period in about 10 minutes. You're listening to Cougar Hockey here on KUGR. Smith, Slye, and Zach McFarlane up in the broadcast booth. Don't you dare go away. We will be right back.
Deep into the wheat fields in Cheney. We've had quite a game this morning so far. 5 combined goals. Kadera, Barnard, Schoenfielder, Cole Carlson, and Cadence Kelly. 5 goals, 3 for Milwaukee and 2 for the Cougs. Milwaukee jumped out to an early start, but the Cougars have responded and remain down 1 as we head to the second period. 20 minutes back on the clock. Smith, what is the key for Wazoo to come out victorious in this period? What can they do to win the period?
Well, without a doubt, Zach, it's got to be being able to break out of their own zone. We were kind of talking about it off air in the intermission there, that one of the things the Raiders have been doing really great so far in this game has been pinning the Cougars down in their own zone. Of course, the same is also true for the Cougs. When their forecheck's been on, it has been on. They've been able to kind of keep the Raiders down in their own zone. And really, at the end of the day, momentum's kind of been going back and forth in this game. I mean, the Raiders obviously got out to a hot start, picking up those first 2 goals from Kadera and Barnard. But then, of course, Cole Carlson being kind of the superhero you mentioned before, the Superman on this team, able to get them back into the game. And then one of the names, who I did not expect to get on the board today was Cadence Kelly, a guy who only had 1 goal, 1 assist coming into this game, is able to get number 2 on the year. So that's some real depth at the position for the Cougs, and that's going to be one of the keys as well, is that depth that they have, being able to help carry them to a win.
The biggest story of the team this year for the Cougars is depth. The first line not having to do it all over and over again like they were in prior seasons. As Carlson fires this puck back in, hit off a stick, and it goes in behind the cage where Lazaro now battles for it for the Cougs. It comes out there for Grobrick. Off his stick, he gives it up. Cole Carlson with a spinning shot that didn't go. And another try, and that was Lazaro off the blocker of the netminder for Milwaukee. 3-man scrum in the corner. Soccered up to the point. Mullen's going to grab it. He's going to fire one on goal, and that one tipped in front, but off mark, just below the mesh that stands above the glass. At the half wall, Lazaro, big hit, just trying to use physical presence to take away the puck in the offensive zone. And it looks like they're going to kind of calm it down as Tortoliet exits the zone. But again, a forecheck from the Cougs, really, really good from them this game. And they've got to start the period strong, as they did not start the first period strong last time, and that allowed for a 2-0 start. There's Umale in front, tipped on goal there, and Carlson, it looked like it went off of his skate, didn't quite get a blade on it, but a good save and a good recovery there from Klinghoffer. Ahead now is Milwaukee. That is Ryder, stepping by a couple, high slot shot, that one tipped off the high glass in behind the cage. Robinson trying to just chip it out. He'll glove it down to himself. The leading defenseman in points on the team, as he was last year. Carlson shielding the puck around. Can't quite get to the front of the net, but he'll go around the net. Carlson, I beg your pardon, that's Cadence Kelly. Backhanded one behind the cage, looking for an outlet, couldn't. Van Rayner now pursuing. Kadera, he was on the board here for Milwaukee in the first period. That kind of muffins toward the goal, and it's cleared out there by Keegan.
Good effort so far early on in this period for the Cougs. They had a couple great scoring opportunities to open up the period as well. The forecheck looking really great, and they have a chance right here.
Now carried in again. Kelly with a shot. He scores! It gets through somehow, and it just a seeing eye shot that finds its way home. And this game, for the first time since the very start, is tied.
Man, what a knuckle puck from Cadence Kelly. I mean, a shot that it didn't even look like he got most of the stick behind it, and almost kind of do a bit of a changeup towards the net and just kind of fooled Klinghoffer, who's had a pretty good, solid night tonight. He's faced 13 shots. I mean, that's number 14 right there. And that's a crucial goal, a game-tying goal. We mentioned before that Cadence Kelly's initial goal was a good one to be able to get momentum back, and that's one that's even more of a tide changer.
And again, like you said, not a guy you would think coming into this game going to get 2 goals. He has 2 already, and Cadence Kelly is on hat-trick watch, and that is huge and immense for the Cougars, getting depth, getting goal scorers from more than just their first line. This one back to the point. Hembry fired one and a hurried shot, goes wide. Comes to the other side. Keegan Lucas is there. Sent one toward the net. That goes off a skate in front and bounces to the half wall, and a good play up to Barnard, who that's off of his skate, and the captain couldn't corral it.
And Keegan Lucas was a name that wasn't supposed to be in this game. He was supposed to be a scratch, and so far tonight he's been very physical in keeping pucks.
He has been a big point for this Cougars defense, as that one kind of just banks right to the glove of Cool, who hangs onto it for a stoppage of play. 17:22 to go.
Absolutely. Great start so far right now for the Cougs. We talked about how the momentum has been kind of going back and forth, and so far the Cougs really just snatched the momentum back in the very start of the second period. Tie game 3-3.
Sort of like we saw in the first period with Milwaukee getting out to the jump. It looks like the Cougars are off to the jump. They spent most of the time in Milwaukee's zone, as this was maybe looking like an opportunity But unfortunately, Carlson unable to beat Pocaccia back to the puck. He angles that one off the high glass. The linesman's arm is up, but it comes down as Lex Ballard unable to draw the icing. He's able to outlet it to Lazaro. Fired off the far board. Micah Clark chipping it out. Carlson there at center. He's able to get it ahead. Good glove play there by Bushkin. Out to Carlson, and his shot, toe drag, leaks through and goes just far of the near post. Milwaukee looking to break it out here. Pushing one ahead, but turning it over in the neutral zone once more and grabbing it right back and just trying to get pucks deep. Lazaro just sweeping that one out, and it'll come down, and Pocaccia going to retrieve for Milwaukee.
Man, when Cole Carlson winds up a shot, you got to expect that it's going to go in the net. That one also almost trickled in. So, I mean, it's exciting every single time Carlson touches the puck.
Very similar to Connor Bedard's toe drag release. Carlson loves the toe drag. It is his signature move. And, man, when he does it, you better look out. On Friday, we saw a beautiful toe drag, maybe a shot, no backhand pass right over to Lazaro for a one-timer. And then, again, we've seen times where he uses that toe drag, changes his release point of the puck, and just finds his way to the back of the net. So if you're Klinghoffer, you're trying to look out for that. As Milwaukee fires this one back around. Lucas Robinson there to grab it off. Send it for Cadence Kelly, and Rayner spins it ahead for Umale. Umale to the outside. Trying to feather that one through to Robinson. The defenseman coming up to play a little offense. Initial shot blocked down and then kind of winds around the end board. Picked up by Milwaukee. That's Pocaccia. Now dropping it off and dumping it in there. Capano. Cougars in their own zone. Robinson ahead. Umale off the boards. Wasn't really looking for it. Was Cadence Kelly, but he got it. Nice little nudge pass for Rayner. Shielding the puck around. Just kind of threw one on net and it bounced right out front. Nobody home, though, in white to capitalize on that opportunity. Ryder with speed right ahead, top of the slot, and a shot off the blocker and into the mesh with 15:22 to go here in the second. I beg your pardon, 15:20 as they let the clock run a couple of extra seconds.
Man, what a great look there for Hayden Ryder for Milwaukee. I mean, he just came right up the middle with a head of steam. I mean, just powering through. No one could really kind of stop him, but I mean, good job from Lexi Cool getting that pad to it, just able to kind of deflect it away and just keep this a tie game.
Again, long range, he's looked sharp. And again, a shot from the circle there. And he, again, shuts that one off. Long range, Alexi Cool has been phenomenal, other than the first goal of the game. They battle for it at the blue line, taken away by Keegan Lucas. And now maybe an opportunity, maybe a 2-on-1 rush. No, they're going to get back. Here's an opportunity, stealing a shot. Had to be peeled away off Hank Hamlet's try. This one comes around the end board. Unable to really grab that was Keegan Lucas, who was trying to just get back to his defensive position at the point. But Hamlet again, forecheck from the Cougs being the story right now. Keenan trying to clear that one up the wall. It gets by, and a chance now for the Raiders. A great diving play, but Lucas is going to get one. And now another tries across. Oh, my goodness. Cool. Slams the door shut and keeps this game tied. But a power play coming up for the Raiders. Keegan Lucas is going to go for a trip. And is that a penalty that you think is okay to take right there?
Absolutely not, Zach. I mean, that's back-to-back mental mistakes from Keegan Lucas. Back over in the Raiders zone, there was an opportunity where a puck came to where he was. He was looking, trying, like you said, trying to get back out to his spot, the D-line, and just let that puck trickle onto the stick of a Raider. And then right there, just not a smart penalty at all. Kind of dove, just took out the legs of the Raiders. A very obvious call right on the referee as well. So that's going to give you down a man in your own zone. That's just brutal for the Cougs.
And now an opportunity huge for the Raiders, trying to get back in front. Carlson able to clear it out. Rayner now an opportunity. Sweeps it on by Schoenfielder. Rayner using presence, shielding the puck and backhanding one. Had to be blockered aside. And it comes back to the point where it is Robinson. Hurries one toward the net. Blocked again by the skates and shin guards of a man in black and red.
Man, the Cougs have been great shorthanded so far tonight. Carlson had a shorthanded goal, and Van Rayner was looking to get one as well. So the Cougs just doing a really great job on the PK.
And on cue with you. Again, they clear it back down. 1:24 to go on the man advantage for the Raiders. And they have not had at all a good power play here tonight.
Man, good job there by Max Lazaro to get a poke check to steal it in the Raiders zone. I mean, he has the option to back out to his own zone, but just way to just tilt the ice here, even on the PK when you're down a man, just not find a way to get something going.
It just seems they can't string any passes together as Kadera sends one in front to the slot, and that shot goes wide. And again, it will ring all the way out of the zone. Pocaccia's got to take it back in the neutral zone. The Raiders looking at options, but look out. It is Lazaro. stole it, and then we'll just kind of circle it back. But now a turnover. Costly mistake there. Grobrick looking at options, but again, Lazaro recovering. It looks like we have a broken twig out there from Grobrick, and that was huge actually for the Cougs.
That's just unfortunate there if you're the Raiders. Grobrick trying to put a shot on goal, broke the twig, like you said, has to skate off the ice, but he could have had a scoring opportunity, but just got denied there. And so again, the Cougs just playing great defense right here on the PK, just shutting down every opportunity.
That was a great break for the Cougs, just not able to get a shot on goal. There was Grobrick, his stick broke, and this one kind of just skitters back to the point, but it comes out again, another clear from this Cougar PK, and now we have a whistle, and it looks like the linesman holding up 6. We may have too many men.
I believe so. Somebody for the Raiders definitely hopped off the bench a little too early. It's number 10 heading to the penalty box there. So now it's going to be, 4-on-4 hockey for about 12 seconds here to be. You got 12 minutes, 47 seconds left in the second period, and it's still a tie game. This is great. A good opportunity for the Cougs. You got 4-on-4 hockey. You're going to be in the Raiders zone for the faceoff. You just got to watch those 12 seconds tick off the clock, and then you got another about minute and 40 seconds to just try and go to work. And if they were dominant on the PK, imagine what they're going to do on the power play.
Pocaccia will serve the too many men bench minor, and the Cougars will hand, although not a full power play, will have their first opportunity for special teams, at least in their favor. Kind of cleared all the way down to their own zone. This actually could work out. I don't think it was planned, but now they'll be able to break it up the ice from their own zone and fully on the power play now. 1:40 to go there. 12:25 is left here in the second. Lex Ballard entered the zone, tried to get it back to the point. It was sticked away at first. He regains control. He'll go to the boards. Evan King. King drops it off. Hembry, one of the alternate captains on defense. Down low to Carlson to left circle. Sent one in front for Rayner. That one's off his stick and just slow rolls and is swept away by the netminder and Klinghoffer. Ballard in the corner. Can't quite handle the pass, and it's going to be cleared all the way around and back out.
And although they weren't able to connect on that, this is still a power play unit that you do not want to face if you're the Raiders. Van Rayner, Cole Carlson. You got Evan King out there, who's been a little bit quiet since the start of the year, but he's itching to get that next goal. Of course, Sam Hembry on defense. And also Lucas Robinson as well. This is just a power play unit that can be just killer if they connect.
Very dangerous if they can string some passes together. Robinson across ice there for Hembry, leaving it off for Cole Carlson, and his shot popped up into the air and over the top of the net, off of Klinghoffer, and a good save. Can Hembry keep the line? Cannot. The puck will leave the zone, and a good forecheck. Kadera steals, and he's moving on. He's got an opportunity, and it is snagged by Cool. What a great glove save. Short-handed opportunity from Kadera, looking for number 2 on the morning, but he couldn't find it.
Man, Alexi Cool looking like Marc-Andre Fleury out there. What a good shot there from number 44. Just wrist shot trying to go over the shoulder. But, of course, Alexi Cool just able to get the glove to that, just kind of snag it down. And after those first 3 goals, he's been pretty locked down on some of these really close opportunities.
That was a more mid-range chance. It looked like Kadera could have probably walked in a little bit more. Did not. Interesting decision. Maybe he felt kind of breathing down his neck from the defenseman back checking. It's Matthew Taylor from the right circle. Just going to go around the cage with it. Still some power play time. 13 to go and a chance out in front that is stopped off to the half wall, taken by Robinson. Grobrick and him will vie for the puck. Robinson from the goal line. Set one in front. They score. It's Taylor on the back door. And the Cougars, for the first time of the day, they have the lead and they strike on the power play.
What a just beautiful feed there from Robinson on the near side, able to feed across from Matthew Taylor, who was just waiting for it and just punched it into the goal. Klinghoffer didn't even know what hit him. It happened too fast, was just able to sneak it past him, and that gives them the lead. And when we're talking about momentum, the first period, you could technically say the Raiders won that first period. They came out to the lead. They go to the locker room 3-2. But right now, the Cougs are showing the Raiders why they are one of the best teams in the ACHA this year and possibly one of the best teams in the Pac-8 as well. So just a great start here for the Cougs in the second period. They got 10 minutes, 26 seconds left, and they got the lead. Matthew Taylor, a freshman, getting it done again.
That is a huge, important goal. Matthew Taylor, in fact, getting his first career goal in the ACHA. Keep the puck. And a huge one, too, putting the Cougars up front for the first time today. And just a beautiful pass from Lucas Robinson. It was right on the goal line, and he's able to get it, connect to the stick back door. Cougars now down a shot in the shots column, 16 for them, 17 for Milwaukee SOE. And now we're kind of getting some discussion here between the Orange Stripes and the Timekeepers area. And now we're going to the Cougars bench.
Also, they're trying to sort out here if maybe the clock needs to be adjusted a little bit. But yeah, no, one of the freshmen that's been the kind of dominant name who at one point was the goal leader was David Bushkin. But of course, Matthew Taylor, also a freshman. So a lot of these, it's not just David Bushkin, it's a lot of this young side of this team able to get on the board at any point in the game.
And you're right. They added just under 20 seconds back onto the clock. Looks like it kept running. There's Taylor, a shot from the slot, looking for his second consecutive, but it was just Klinghoffer getting a piece of it. Lex Ballard from the point, active bounce off the back wall, and just couldn't find the stick of Hamlet. Keeping it alive is him, though. A good forecheck, and now trying to nudge one further into the zone. And the attack from the Cougs has been relentless, wearing down the Raiders here.
It's a good response. Good response by Milwaukee to kind of chase Wazoo out of the zone, but here they have an opportunity.
Carlson right in the slot, shot right off the mask, and another try short side. Brenner trying to jam it home, and the loose puck there in the paint, but a cover from Klinghoffer. His mask comes off. I'm not sure if there was contact there. Quite a few bodies right around the crease, but nonetheless, he gets the halt of play with 10:05 to go in period 2.
Man, that line with Matthew Taylor on it is just hungry to keep scoring. I mean, Matthew's already got one on the night. He's looking for number 2. He had a scoring opportunity a little bit ago as well. So, I mean, he's just hungry to try and get that second goal. But, I mean, just good response right now from Milwaukee, able to kind of stay strong and just able to survive that hacking and whacking out in front.
Matthew Taylor, again, an important goal. First career point and goal. No better time right now for the Cougs. Cole Carlson knocking this one down like a baseball bat. Able to get it to Lazaro. That one fed to the slot. Trying to get Bushkin. Now it comes back to the point, and Hembry angles it down low for Carlson. Right to the slot, and a one-timer is blocked in front. Good physical presence again. Stick comes out of the hands there of Ryder. Carlson was crushed by Ryder. Lazaro, score! What a snipe! That goes top glove. There was a penalty called on the play. I think it's going to get waved off, and it is Lazaro who snipes one short side and puts the Cougars in front by 2.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to sort this one out here. But, I mean, yeah, it looked like there was a slash there on the near boards. Stick got knocked out of the hand of a Raider. Of course, there wasn't an initial call at all. And then, of course, in the confusion, you could hear the Raiders bench just kind of lamenting, kind of groaning about the fact that they didn't get that call. And then Lazaro just kind of makes it look easy, just goes top bins over the shoulder of Klinghoffer. Again, and it's the start of the second period. Klinghoffer has just been unable to stop some of these just amazing goals from some of these Cougar scores. I mean, Max Lazaro, he was a guy that last year was a very physical presence, but wasn't necessarily the guy who got on the stat sheet a lot, didn't pick up a lot of goals, didn't pick up a lot of assists. But so far this year, he's kept that physical presence, and he's been able to pick up in terms of game points, getting goals, getting assists. He's really picked up his whole game as a whole. And that was something that Cole Carlson, after the first Gonzaga game, talked about, the fact that in the absence of Miles Sagan and Ian Gold, Max Lazaro has been a name that's really stepped up into a leadership role.
Milwaukee's coach is irate on the bench right now. He wants an explanation, and I believe it was Cole Carlson. I think he got away with one on the slash there. The stick came out of the hands of, it looked like Ryder, and Ryder then retaliated with a huge hit, and that was absolutely a charge, and that I believe that was going to be the call from the official. Again, didn't have to be called. It was a goal from Lazaro, and Barnard got an explanation, the captain of the Raiders, but, man, the coach wanted one for sure, and he is not happy he didn't get one. He even opened the gate to the bench, and here's a chance. Bushkin knocking that down with his glove. Lazaro creating a chance. Bushkin down low, just trying to sneak it home, and it looks like it's in the glove on the short side. A good little shot there from Bushkin, just trying to sneak it in somewhere or another. That would have put the Cougars up 3, but a good save with 9:09 to go in the second.
Man, David Bushkin just looking to try and get back onto that goal leaderboard. He's got 6 so far this year. Of course, Van Rayner dethroned him yesterday, getting his 7th of the year, but we'll see if David Bushkin doesn't maybe get on the board at some point tonight.
How about that? How about being the goal leader, and then some guy on your team comes in and totally just dismantles it in one game?
With 6
about
goals.
That?
Yeah.
So right here, we're going to get a tripping penalty against the Cougs. And so just when they take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, they're going to get a careless penalty here. Rayner, again, who we were just talking about, 6 goals yesterday, he will get a penalty here for a trip. And the Raiders going to go to the power play, and it is awfully an important chance.
And Van Rayner's a guy that, when we were talking with John Lupinacci, he's a guy who, when he plays angry, he plays better. And that's what happened yesterday in that Gonzaga game. And getting a little angry there, draws the penalty, just doesn't help the Cougs out there.
Upset from night 1 and clearly took it out on the Gonzaga goaltender yesterday, putting up 6. As the Raiders looking, trying to set something up on their power play for the first time tonight, has not been productive whatsoever. And still, seemingly that way. Blocked down there by Matthew Taylor. He has one of the difference makers right now. Here's Ryder, sent one in front to the slot. Couldn't find the stick there of Capentau. Sent around to the boards again, at the point. There's Tortilla. Down low near the goal line in the corner. Tortilla with a toe drag shot off the pipe. They're going to say it didn't go in. Head coach and the Raiders think that one went in and off the post, and now a flubbed pass, and it will come out of the zone. That looked like it may have gone in.
And that's a rough one there if you're the Raiders. So you could hear the bench here just getting really, really upset about that call. It looked like it might have just almost hit the pipe, went underneath into the net, and then kicked out. Of course, the referee, they're right there on the ice. They make the call, say it's not a goal. But, I mean, if you're a Raider, you're going to be arguing for your case all day long. But it doesn't work. Referees still have the final call.
And if that was indeed in the net, again, all speculation, Washington State got away with maybe another one, you could say. Definitely the referees have made some important no calls here against the Raiders in the last couple of plays that have turned into chances or no goals or goals for both sides. As again, and that's going to be a cross check against Lazaro. He slams his man down, Kadera into the boards. And unfortunately for the Cougs, they're going to have 31 seconds of being down 2 and a 5-on-3 coming up for the Raiders. And can they finally get something going with an extra man advantage here?
And the two most physical guys on this team, without a doubt, it's got to be Max Lazaro and Van Rainer. It's no surprise that both of them are sitting next to each other in the penalty box right now, and that's brutal. You got 31 seconds left on that Van Rainer penalty. So like you said, you're going to have 5-on-3. You're going to be in the Cougar zone. When you have a 2-goal lead, even in the ACHA, Coach Ubrachi says a lot. You need 5 goals to win in the ACHA. They've got 5. But when you hand an opportunity to the Raiders like this to cut the lead to 1, maybe possibly tie it, that's just something you can't do in ACHA.
Lazaro really modeling his play. It reminds me a lot of Ian Gould of last season. Very physical, big physical presence, but a playmaker at heart. This shot blocked. Comes back to the point. Pakacha will go to the captain, Barnard. At the left circle, trying to walk it in a little bit. Pakacha again at the high point. Hurries one toward the goal, tipped en route, and they score. It is Kadera, and they finally get a productive opportunity on the power play. They get one back. It's 5-4, and they still have 1:40 to go on the man advantage.
Man, that is huge there for Kadera, getting his second goal of the night to be able to put it within one. We were just talking about the fact that when you hand them an opportunity like this, they're going to capitalize on it. They're angry. They've had some calls not go their way. They've got that fire underneath them. They've got the 2-man advantage. And the Cougs, the penalty kill has been great, but now you're going to have 5-on-4 still. You're still down a man. And one thing that was really interesting is you saw Cole Carlson out there for that penalty kill on the 5-on-3, a guy who I wouldn't think you'd want for that 5-on-3 penalty kill, but it ends up going in the favor of the Raiders. So interesting move there by the Cougs.
Trying to task the top player on your team, arguably the point leader at that, with an opportunity to try and kill a 5-on-3 penalty, and that's just a tough ask from pretty much anybody. And a deflection by Cool is going to go. And again, deflections are pretty arguably a goaltender's worst nightmare. And oftentimes not much you can do about it as a man in the mask. Raiders trying to break it out. They're just kind of playing a little catch here in their own zone to start. 1:01 to go on the power play, 6.5 to go in period 2. This one slides off the blade and is tipped in off of Ryder. Battle along the boards here in behind the cage. It comes back to the point. There's Tortilla. He'll go down low again for Ryder. Tracing the circle, leaves it off for Tortilla. It comes down low again. Grobrick sitting in the corner. Has it once more, looks at his options, shoots one on goal, and he scores! It leaks through, but it looks like Cool has an argument here with the official. He feels like he was interfered with, but nonetheless, for the time being, this game is tied.
Yeah, definitely there. If you're Alexi Cool, you're going to want to argue with that one. And if you did get interfered with a little bit there, but of course, there have been some calls that haven't gone the Raiders' way, so obviously, I mean, puck don't lie. Some calls are going to go against you as well if you've had those 2 kind of lucky breaks for the Cougs. And that's a tie game. And we were just talking about the fact that you handed them an opportunity with those back-to-back penalties from one of your captains and one of the guys who's been becoming a leader on this team. You hand them that 5-on-3 opportunity. And I said, you're up by 2, but that's not enough in the ACHA. And the Raiders make them pay and tie up this game.
Crimson and Gray puts it on a silver platter for the Raiders. They're able to get 2 on the power play and tie the game. As Rainer looked for a centering pass out front, not to anybody wearing the same sweater as him, Reed Mullen, using that big frame at the offensive blue line to keep the puck in the zone.
Yeah, Reed Mullen, 6'3", 165 pounds. As a junior, he's just a big man.
This one bouncing off the shelf by Robinson, and an opportunity for the Raiders. Trying to poke it away from harm's way there was Capentanao, but could not get it to his counterpart there, as looking for him was O'Reilly on the far side. Mullen to retrieve in his own zone by the official. The pucks have hit the officials quite a bit in this one. They have played a huge part, whether they've been on calls or touching the puck as itself. Raiders now in the neutral zone. Look to fire it in. Would have been an icing call, but it was stopped at the blue line, as this one is nudged out off the backhand. And Bushkin in pursuit. Pakacha got rid of it. Barnard handing it off. Schoenfielder and over the line. Drops it off to Barnard. Through the face-off circle, and a chip puck will come all the way to the opposite corner, as this one is lifted back out by Carlson. Pakacha takes it over the line. Onside play. Dumps it in. Robinson back to get it in the right corner. He'll go around the cage and look for Bushkin. Outletting one across. There's Lazaro. Trying to dangle over the blue line. Spins away from one man and just kind of sends it toward the net. And the Raiders going to calm it down in their own zone as the Cougs get a change.
Man, the Cougs looking really slow after those 2 goals that they gave up. This is a period that at the start of it, they were able to come out, get those 3 goals, get to that 5-2 lead. And then, of course, the Raiders have just taken the momentum right back. They're looking slow. Bodies are looking tired. It's game 3 of 3 days of action, but still, the Cougs need to pick something up here.
Here's Rayner with a shot off the drop pass from Umale that is turned aside by Klinghoffer. And again, momentum has played a huge part in this game. Punza swings as 2 Raiders collide with each other. Schoenfielder, and it looked like Tortilliot kind of ran into each other right at the Eagles logo here at the URC in Cheney. 3:42 to go in period 2. This game is deadlocked at 5. Back and forth we are in this one. Keegan Lucas spins it down low. There's a shot on goal. Had to be blockered aside. Umale battling along with Keenan in the board and behind the cage. There's a centering pass out in front. Bouncing puck comes to the stick of Umale again at the circle. Trying to dance through a couple. Trying to get it to the slot. Hembry unable to poke it for himself. And that one by Umale. And here come the Raiders. A good chance. Ryder with speed. Dropping it off. And a giveaway from the Raiders again. They can't hang on to it in the offensive zone. And Umale now pursuing Tortilliot.
And good defensive sticks there from the Raiders back in their own zone, but then just couldn't quite connect on offense, couldn't get in, couldn't get established. They get chased back into their own zone. The forecheck for the Cougs right now on this play has been great, but we'll see if the Raiders can't break through.
2:53 to go as Lucas slaps that one around the glass hard. And it comes right to the stick of Hembry off Tortilliot. Maybe a 2-on-2, maybe a 3-on-2 rush delay. Here's Hembry, takes it to the outside, and a shot that bounces just wide. And it comes to the half wall on the opposite side. A huge hit along the board, and it looks like Hamlet is down and slow to get up as play continues. No arm raise from the orange stripe, and we finally get a whistle. The puck comes into the bench, and Hamlet is down on the ice. We hope it is nothing serious. We hope he's okay.
Yeah, Hank Hamlet, he's not getting up. He's just writhing in agony down there on the ice. Really hurt as Ryan Brenner and Micah Clark come out to try and check on him there, just sprawled out on the ice, just he's not getting back up to his feet. That's really brutal. He took a really heavy hit against the boards. He's a freshman. He's got 2 assists, 1 goal in the year. And that's something that if you're the Cougs, he's been a difference maker on this team, even though he hasn't picked up the most amount of goals and the most amount of assists. He's been a name that we've called out so many times on this broadcast. And if he goes down, he's not able to come back into this game. That can be brutal for the Cougs as they are tied 5-5 with only 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the second period.
One of the biggest rookies for this team for Wazoo. He has been a difference maker as a freshman. Huge part of that depth story we've seen from the Cougs, and not necessarily a dangerous head first play into the boards, but definitely crushed along that plexiglass. And as we all know, that is not a soft surface.
Now, John Lupinacci and the head coach for the Raiders are out to go check on him as well. As they're down on the knee trying to assess what exactly got hurt, how he's doing, if he's going to be able to continue playing. Is he still on the ground? It's just a brutal sight here in Cheney.
Now, Lupinacci had a smile on his face for at least a moment. We were hoping that's a sign that things are all right down there. Again, still down, just waiting. Assistant coach Jim Clark and trainer for the Washington State Cougars as he comes down to the ice to check on Hamlet.
Yeah, you're right. John Lupinacci is kind of smiling there off to the side of Hank Hamlet as they bring the trainer out. And, of course, it could just be that he got the wind knocked out of him, maybe just got, rattled his cage a little bit, rung his bell, one might say. it could just be that he just needs a second to be able to catch his breath. As doesn't seem too serious. No paramedics coming out on the ice so far, so that's a good sign.
And like you see in football, a lot of the guys, when they make a hit, they get a stinger in their shoulder. Doesn't necessarily mean anything serious, just kind of one of those things where, it hurts absolutely at first, a tough thing to come back from, but it looks like Hamlet getting back to his feet with the assistance of the two coaches. And we will see he is now just kind of skating off the ice. He will go with Jim Clark, but for the time being, he will not return. At least we can probably assume for the second period with only 2.5 minutes to go. Hopefully for the Cougs, he is able to make his return in the third. Again, like you said, a key piece to this depth of the Cougars team. And now they are down a man. And in any way that sucks. But now when it's one of your top young guys, it really hurts.
Absolutely. I mean, the good play here for Lupinacci might be not to play him for a third period. I know this is an ACHA matchup. It is still a game you want to win. You never want to lose a game, but it's not a pack game. This is not one of your pack opponents, not the Huskies. It's not San Jose. It's not Cal. It's not one of those teams you're going to play in playoffs or anything like that. It's not necessarily a less important game, but a game that you can afford to not have Hamlet in. And if you take the loss, you take the loss. But at the end of the day, just let Hamlet recover. Don't try and push him too hard.
Not a Pac-8 playoff game, you're right. So one of those things where you just may have to sit him and rest him, and hopefully got to prioritize longevity. Here's a shot by Clark, and that one whistles wide of the cage. And taken up here by Capington now. He just kind of lifts it in. The rolling puck now surfaces to the ice. Yang unable to play it to his man. Pakacha fires it around again. Clark off his stick. We'll go to Lex Ballard. Backhands one along to the other side once more. Pakacha again, keeping it alive. Yang kind of just backhands one blindly and doesn't really connect with anybody, and the loose puck will come down, and that will be played by Zachary Meyer.
This is a great opportunity here. If you're the Raiders, the Cougs down a man off of that injury. The momentum's swinging back your way after those 2 goals. If you can get the lead right here, that could be massive.
My goodness, what a booming hit from Lazaro. He's going to get one. He is incensed about the call. I'm not sure what it's going to be just yet, but he absolutely crunched his man. But he's going, again, in the sin bin. It looks like he's going to get a charge or maybe a roughing, it looked like there from the signal of the official. Only 2 minutes, but again, another penalty, and they cashed in on the last couple, and they're tied here 5-5. Is this a dagger going into the third period if they score late here?
I mean, this is a game that you wouldn't think would get very chippy. 2 teams that don't really have a history with each other, but somehow they're getting chippy. They're kind of hitting each other hard. You get that call right there. I mean, John Lupinacci didn't like that call on the bench. He was irate about that call. And I mean, for Max Lazaro, that's his second penalty so far tonight. And the last time he went to the penalty box, we know what happened. They picked up those 2 goals. They were able to snag back. They get this game back to 0, get back to 5-5. So with him heading to the penalty box again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders connect and take the lead back, get a 6-5 game.
Whether it is clean or not, hard hits and big hits are always going to get more attention and more arm raises a lot of the time. Is look out. Here's a chance. Wrap around. Oh, my goodness. What a stop. Klinghoffer recovering from his own turnover. As like you mentioned earlier, Marc-Andre Fleury, that was Marc-Andre Fleury's puck handling for sure right there, as he almost turned that puck over in for a wraparound goal from Matthew Taylor, and it would have been a huge shorthanded goal for the Cougs as an opportunity. Kadera works it in, sends one across, and just by the stick there as it got tipped on a chance, looking for a one-timer. 53 seconds to go, 1:19 left on the power play. The little carryover time will happen if they don't tuck one here. At the point, Ryder sends it down low, cycling the puck, or the team in black and red. Tortilla back to Ryder. Nudges one down low. Good movement here in the slot. A shot from the high slot is held by the netminder for the Cougs, Alexi Kuhl, who again has been sharp. Just a lot of chances from really a lack of defensive opportunities from the Cougs to be able to clear the zone. And again, shorthanded. 2 of their last goals, 5-on-3 and a 5-on-4 back-to-back. Kuhl has been trying to keep his cool, but it is hard.
They're putting him in a really rough spot here, drawing those penalties, getting those man advantages towards the Raiders. I mean, Alexi's doing his best, but it's hard to be able to try and keep the Cougs in the game when they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with some of these penalties and some of these hits that they're drawing. So, I mean, Alexi Kuhl just trying his best to keep him in the game as there's only 20 seconds left.
The last few seasons, penalties has been a struggle for this Cougars team. Discipline has been a focus, but again, it has sometimes been an issue for them in games. 8 penalties in their first game of the season against Idaho, and they're climbing to that amount now as the 2 seconds, then 1 It'll tick off, and one final shot, Cool with a stop. Not sure if it would have counted anyway, but with 26 ticks that will carry over from the power play, a 5-5 game. And, man, it has been a roller coaster. The Cougars down 2 early in the first. They come back. They're up 5-3. They get their first 2-goal lead. And MSOE, a 5-on-3 opportunity, cash in again. And now this game is tied. Again, the Cougars need to stop taking penalties. What can they do in this third period, especially now without Hamlet, at least as we know for now, to essentially win this game?
Well, I mean, look, last year, John Lubinacci talked about it a lot, and he's talked about it a lot this in the early part of this season as well. Penalty trouble is what has been killing the Cougs last year, and it's killed them a little bit in this year as well, and it's definitely killing them in this game right now. Max Lazaro getting those 2 penalties. Van Rayner getting that penalty that set up a 5-on-3, and they capitalized on it. I mean, at the start of this period, after the first 10 minutes, if you had told me that this period was going to end in a 5-5 tie for that after the second period, I would not have believed you. At the way the Cougs came out swinging in period number 2, it looked like they were going to cruise to a pretty high lead at the end of the second period. But of course, not sure what exactly is happening. That probably some chirping, probably getting in their heads a little bit. When we were talking with some of the people who knew this Milwaukee team, they mentioned that they are a hard-nosed hockey team. They play physical. They play hard. We've seen that tonight. But definitely they chirp a lot. They get in your head, whether it's not necessarily just barking at you or yelling at you. It's the small little comments, the small jabs, getting in your head, forcing you to hit them hard, and forcing you then to have to go to the box. And then you get that power play and you capitalize on it. And so far, that's been the game plan, and it's worked out. And they've just had the Cougs number in that second half of the second period. So you got a 5-5 game. Coming into the third period, you got to keep your heads cool. You got to be like Alexi Cool. Stay cool. Stay calm. If you want to help out Cool, you got to stay cool as well. If you keep drawing those penalties, keep getting those man advantages towards the Raiders, they're going to make you pay. At first, the penalty kill was great for the Cougs. They were able to kill off those opportunities, but obviously the Raiders just figured them out. Once they got that man advantage after those next couple power plays, they understood how to read the penalty kill. They understood how to break in. They understood how to score, and they did it twice. So if you're the Cougs, you just got to stay cool.
Cool, calm, and collected, going to be the theme. And Coach Lubinacci's face coming off the ice after a discussion with the referee says it all. He did not agree, and nor did most of that Cougar bench, with the Max Lazaro penalty there at the end of the period. Has not resulted in a goal yet, but still has 26 seconds of carryover time as we are winding down the clock of intermission. 10:38, all that's left in the intermission as we head to the third. I'm Zach McFarlane alongside Smith Slye, and we will see you in just a moment. Do not go away. We have a 5-5 deadlock game here in Cheney, and we're in for a phenomenal third period.
This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Airstrip, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He's stuck at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, back to the game.
You're listening to Cougar Hockey on KUGR.
40 minutes in the books, and both teams, Milwaukee and Washington State University, deadlocked, tied 5-5 as we move into period 3 of action here at the Eastern Washington University Ice Rink in Cheney, Washington. Hank Hamlet, the freshman forward for this team on the Cougs, got laid out along the boards on the near side, went down to the ground. Lupinacci had to come out to check on him. The head coach from Milwaukee came out to check on him and was eventually helped off the ice. We'll be interested to see if he does come back out to play tonight. But nonetheless, that also is an important absence from the team as well, is Samuli Sahovinen, the Finland phenom, 6'2", 200 pounds of physical presence on the ice when he plays for the Cougs. But he is not in the lineup tonight. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Smith Slye, joined by Zach McFarlane up in the broadcast booth here in Cheney. Zach, how does Samuli Sahovinen being absent from this lineup really hurt the Cougs going into this third period of action?
Well, like you mentioned, he has a big frame and he brings a physical presence, much to match the identity of this Cougars team. And not to mention, he is a point grabber. I mean, he has 15 points last season for this team, and he's only getting better. And to not have him out there, again, a top liner. They've been running with him at the top center position, maybe see him on the second line, but realistically, he's been prioritized on the top line. And so to not have him out there in a game like this where it's very close, getting very chippy, getting very physical, and with the kind of differences being penalties and being in physical presence, it's so important to would have had him in this game. But again, he's not. And of course, the Ashland, Oregon native, Hank Hamlet, unfortunately, undoubtedly unreal for the team this season. But again, he went down late in that second period. We'll see if he returns. Like you said, it would be good for the Cougs if he did. But of course, got to prioritize his health. And 5-5, 25 seconds here left in the intermission.
Absolutely. We mentioned it too back in the second period after that Hank Hamlet injury. The fact that this is not a Pac-8 game. It's still an ACHA matchup. It still does contribute to your overall record. But this is a game that you can afford to lose if you're going to have to go down a man like that, like Hank Hamlet. It's the reason why they're not starting guys like Samuli Sahovinen, for example. They still have their first liners out. They still have Carlson going. They still have Bushkin going. They still have Max Lazaro going, who the connection between Cole Carlson and Max Lazaro has been electric all year, and it's been electric so far in this game as well. Carlson has a goal. Max Lazaro has a goal. They've been feeding each other all night, but at the same time, as good as Max Lazaro has been able to feed Cole Carlson, he's also been getting in penalty trouble. 2 penalties, one of which allowed a power play goal that helped tie this game. And Alexis Poole has been strong in nets, but the goals that he's been giving up have been kind of muffins. There have been ones that have been on the power play where the Cougs are kind of shooting themselves in the foot and putting Cool in a really tough spot to have to try and keep this game close.
100%. And this should be an interesting period. I don't believe 26 seconds with the pattern that this game has gone. I don't believe 26 seconds on the man advantage clock is going to be enough time to get settled in at the very start of this period. I think the Cougars have really kind of escaped that penalty from Lazaro. It was a huge hit. And again, very controversial, according to Johnny Lupinacci and the Wazoo bench. They absolutely did not like the call, but what can you do? Referees have kind of been very controversial, according to the two benches. If you've been watching them this game, lots of disagreements from the coaches, a little bit of incense from both of their reactions. But again, here we are 20 minutes back on the clock and a very important period, and we will see who can keep their cool in this one.
Absolutely. Milwaukee picked up a win against Eastern Washington a few days ago, a team that likes to play mind games, and they were able to win by taking a page out of Eastern's book, playing those mind games, getting chippy, getting chirps, and they're doing the same thing tonight as period number 3, the final frame, is underway. The face-off One by Milwaukee, drawing back into their own zone. And try and plot a breakout. Get a pass to number 11, past the red line, past the blue line. He'll feed it around the boards. Connecting with Goberek, who has a goal so far tonight. Feeds it over to 24, back over to Goberek. Goes wide of his stick. Far side. Wheels out to the blue line. Leaves it back for his defenseman, number 11. Gives it back to number 20. Can he put a shot on goal? Tries to dangle, has it poke checked away. As he giving back to number 20 behind the net, looking for someone to pass to. Kicks it out to the far boards. Can he keep his handle? No, it's taken away. Here he comes. Here comes Max Lazaro. Far side, 2-on-1. Stops and starts at the blue line. Pass over to Van Rainer. Doesn't get it on his stick as it's cleaned up by Cole Carlson. The first line out for the Cougs. Hand off to Sam Hembry. This penalty kill unit trying to get a shorthanded goal, but it's taken away by Milwaukee as they try and break into the zone for an icing. Yes, it is brought back into the Milwaukee zone. And the Cougs looking strong on the penalty kill, trying to get yet another shorthanded goal on the year.
Huge rest of that kill. I mean, they got no shots registered. Reed Mullen, good job, good stick positioning, kind of blocking that centering passing lane that they were looking for. And again, Lazaro, although he got that penalty that almost cost the team, he comes back, makes an effort on the back check, and gets out of the box.
Matthew Taylor won the faceoff and pushed on goal immediately, but it's denied by the Milwaukee goaltenders. It kicks out to the blue line. Keegan Lucas puts a shot on goal. Turned out by the goaltender again. Milwaukee trying to clean it up. The Cougs just trying to keep possession. That's Matthew Taylor being a dog at the goal line. Leaves it for Evan King in the corner. Kicks out onto Matthew Taylor's stick. Has it poke checked away. Is it kept in? Yes, it is. Keegan Lucas gets it to Ryan Brenner, who puts a shot on goal off a defensive body. He goes down. That one definitely stung. And it's picked up by Keegan Lucas, who fires a shot well wide of the goal. Ryan Brenner to keep it in the near wing. Backhands it in behind net. Matthew Taylor to clean it up behind the nets. He has it taken away from him. 3 Raiders take it away. It's cleaned up by Grobracek, who flips it up into the zone. Keegan Lucas back to play it. He had some mental mistakes back in the second period, but he's trying to make up for it now as Evan King, the freshman. He's been quiet after that first game against the University of Idaho as the Cougs try and break it out. Ryan Brenner, the forecheck forward of the Raiders, trying to pin him down as even Evan King clears it into the zone and the Cougs get a change.
So far, no really full attack or possession from either side. Lots of neutral zone game here and a couple of changes, but really not a lot of offensive action from either side.
That puck goes onto the stick of Alexi Kuhl, who covers it with the glove, melts it down, and will force a face-off. 17 minutes, 58 seconds left, basically 18 minutes left in this third period. Tie game, 5 for the Cougars, 5 for the Raiders. A very, very tense game.
Plenty of time left here, but we're going to get down to that point where it's desperation time, and it's one mistake, one bounce, one pass, and one shot that could really just end the entire game.
Cougs cleared out of the zone. Milwaukee pushes it back in offsides. They touch it offsides. Bit of a mental mistake there from Schoenfield, who has a goal so far tonight for the Raiders. But nonetheless, it'll kick the faceoff out to the neutral zone, and the Cougs just trying to push the Raiders back into their own zone.
Little line switch up here. We have, it looks like, I beg your pardon, same top line out there, as they have not played as much as they normally would if they played last season. But they're back out there again.
Opportunity for the Raiders. A shot off a defensive stick, up and out. Max Lazaro able to get the stick, that's Lex Ballard, the defenseman, able to get his stick and able to deny Schoenfield on that shot attempt.
Yeah, I guess I thought the David Bushkin out there was Matthew Taylor. I got my numbers kind of flopped around, but David Bushkin, again, tied for second in goals with 6. He's tied in second for points as well. He has been incredible young guy for this team.
He's in good company with Cole Carlson and Van Rainer as here come the Cougs. Lex Ballard past the red line, leaves it for Cole Carlson. Trying to get in the zone. It's kept at the line by Lex Ballard. Puts a shot on goal. Just goes wide. David Bushkin trying to chase after it as the Raiders come up with it in their own zone. They'll try and plot a breakout. Max Lazaro on the forecheck. As that puck goes past the logo, cleaned up by Lex Ballard. It passes off the boards to Cole Carlson. Just goes wide of his stick, and the Raiders clear it back out again. Here comes Kadera. 2 goals tonight. Looking for 3. Near side. Puts a shot on goal well wide. Lexi Kuhl just watched it skate past as that weak shot just goes off to the right of Kuhl. And Kadera back to clean up on the near wing. Pass into the corner. Backhand trying to find Kadera as it's taken away by Lex Ballard, who plays it off the body of a Raider out into the neutral zone, and the Raiders have to touch up.
Raiders have to get a little more possession here. They're cycling the puck a little bit, but they're not taking any shots on goal.
David Bushkin tried to feed Cole Carlson there, but just got picked up by Barnard for the Raiders, who also has a goal so far tonight, as Reed Mullen, the defenseman, plays it off the boards. Gets it there to Max Lazaro, past the red line, past the blue line. He shoves him off the puck. Max Lazaro, the most physical player on this Cougar team, just shoves that Raider off the puck. As Cole Carlson takes it back into his own zone. He's got 2 Raiders converging on him. Gets a pass to Lucas Robinson, who fields it cleanly. Past the blue line, far side. Shoves off number 10 in the corner behind the net. stops and starts. Has it pinned against the boards as it kicks out to the far wing. Raiders trying to clear it out. Still unable to clear it out. Raiders in the neutral zone has it shoved off him, and it kicks on the stick of Reed Mullen, who gets a feed pass there for Cadence Kelly, who leaves it for Umile. And he can't keep his handle. It's cleared out again by the Raiders. 15 minutes, 52 seconds left in the third period. 5-5. We are still tied up.
Robinson is the one D-man we see on this Cougar team that consistently is up in the rush, playing a little bit of forward.
Van Rainer looking for a scoring opportunity. Fires a shot on net. Turned out by the goaltender. They fight for it. Hack and whack. Just kicks out wide. Almost had a good scoring opportunity, but the Cougs can't connect as Hembry keeps it into the zone. Puts a shot on goal. A bit of a changeup that just goes wide. Cadence Kelly to keep it at the blue line. Pushes it in behind net, trying to find Umile, the freshman on this team. As the Raiders look to clear it out, and they will. They'll get it to the neutral zone, but the Cougs catch it back in their own zone. Sam Hembry trying to slow down, and here's a break. Grobacek used the stick, picked it up, puts a shot on goal, kicks off the pad of Alexi Cool into his glove. What a save. Number 67, Grobacek. Groberek, pardon me. Already has a goal tonight, got denied by Alexi Cool.
And good save by Alexi Cool. Good positioning. He's able to get in that butterfly quickly as that shot never really left the ice. But again, that could be dangerous. 5-hole. Obviously, you're probably not expecting that from that far range. So butterfly there is huge. And Alexi Cool is able to make the stop. Max Lazar with a phenomenal reverse hit earlier in that play. And my, oh my, did that get the bench going for the team in white.
Third line out for the Cougs. Matthew Taylor to the faceoff circle as we'll sort of here back with the goaltender, Klingerhofer for Milwaukee. Seems like might have gotten shaken up on that play as the head coach for Milwaukee comes out to check on his goaltender, number 9, Barnard, the team captain for Milwaukee, back to check on the goaltender as well. Still 5-5 here, 15 minutes, 11 seconds left in the third period. The faceoff will be in the Cougar zone off to the left of Alexi Cool, but still trying to sort out something here back on the Milwaukee side.
There was definitely a hard shot in that last sequence that hit him right in the mask. And obviously that's going to, no pun intended, rattle the cage for sure. And fortunately, it seems he is okay. Coaches are coming off of the ice and back onto the bench. Barnard as well going back onto the bench. So it's seemingly he is okay. Mask is back on, and the faceoff going to take place.
Matthew Taylor loses the faceoff, won by the Raiders. 24 has it at the point, tries to push in. Evan King gets it here to Ryan Brenner, past the logo. Brenner all by himself. He's got Matthew Taylor. Can he get it past to him? No, it's stripped away by the Raiders. Good defense to shut down Ryan Brenner. As they pin it against the boards, fight for it. Brenner will come up with it, get a pass there to Michael Clark, who put a shot on goal. It just went wide. It's kept at the line by Lex Ballard. Puts a shot, defensive stick, shut it down. Here come the Raiders. Good move to the number 11, past the blue line, near side. Put a shot on goal. Yes, he will. Off the pads of Alexi Cool, who snags it. The rebound trying to get cleaned up by the Raiders, and Alexi Cool saves one and saves two.
That's a beautiful snag from Alexi Cool. A bouncing kind of rolling puck. And someone's able to get a twig on it there, but he's able to snag it out of the air. And this has just been a much slower period than what we've seen in the last two. Not as many offensive chances as what we've been seeing. And someone's got to break the ice here at some point.
First line out for the Cougs, and they win it in their own zone. Reed Mullen gets a feed pass for David Bushkin. Here comes the freshman. Far side shot on goal, turned out. But the rebound cleaned up by Cole Carlson. Can't get it to go. As it's in behind net, the Raiders trying to clear out. Good back-to-back saves from Klinghoffer. As the Cougs maintain possession, Lucas Robinson from the blue line, shot on goal, loose out in front, hacking and whacking, shot on goal, laying out his Klinghoffer, and he gets the save again, trying to clear it out. Reed Mullen keeps it at the point. Max Lazaro puts a shot on goal, turned away by Klinghoffer. Cole Carlson in the far corner, trying to pick up the puck, trying to get to David Bushkin, kicks out to Robinson, heavy shot off the pad of Klinghoffer, back-to-back saves for Klinghoffer. As they scrum for it in the near wing. Bushkin comes up with the puck, trying to put an off-bounce shot on. Doesn't work as Cole Carlson cleans it up. Far wing, pushes into the corner, finding someone to pass to. He'll get to Bushkin, who tries to center it. Doesn't work. Pardon me, that was Max Lazaro as Reed Mullen gets it at the point. Shot on goal, well high. Klinghoffer didn't even see where that puck was as Lucas Robinson hits another heavy shot. Turned out again by Klinghoffer, staying strong. Loose out in front. He'll put the glove over the top of it, melts it down. What a flurry of scoring opportunities for the Cougs, but Klinghoffer says no, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but more than 4 times in that scoring opportunity.
Really the first consistent form of offense we've seen from either one of these teams in this period, and neither goalie giving an inch when their name has been called.
Won by the Cougs, centering pass doesn't work out as the Raiders will take it here. Past the red line, past the blue line. Kadera stops and starts, tries to hand it off for number 12. He gets shoved into the boards as the Cougs cleared out to the neutral zone. Umile trying to take it away. He fights for it. He scrums for it against the boards. Gives it to Cadence Kelly, but has it taken right back by the Raiders as they move it into the neutral zone. Past the red line. Here comes Barnard, team captain. Moves out in front. tries to put a shot on goal, but tries to option a pass. Doesn't work as Caden Lucas tried to clear it out. As that shot on goal turned off the pad of Lexi Cool. They try and clear up the bouncing puck. It's picked up by Umile, who hands it off to Cadence Kelly, who flips it up into the zone and goes off for a change. The Cougs going to get some fresh bodies on the ice.
Umile was tangled up there with Meyer, and then Meyer got hit pretty hard as Cadence Kelly finished his check, and so then he had to go off.
Umile tries to put a shot on goal from the far wing. Doesn't work as 2 Raiders strip him of the puck. Here they come. 3 Raiders on 2 Cougs. But Matthew Taylor back to help out as that shot from well out turned out by Alexi Cool. Just had to barely get his pads to it as here comes Umile. Leaves it back for Lex Ballard. Gives it to Matthew Taylor past the red line. Tries to shake off a defender. Breaks into the zone. Almost collides with Ryan Brenner and has it taken away from him. Picked up by Evan King. Far wing. Can he get a goal? Stops. Starts in the corners. Backhands it out for Micah Clark, who puts a shot on goal. Trying to get a tip out in front. Doesn't work. Matthew Taylor trying to get a tip goal. Doesn't work out as it leaks into the neutral zone and the Cougs have to touch up.
Cougars definitely more on the offensive here. They're getting good chances. Yes, both teams are getting zone time, but they're cycling the puck and they're creating grade A chances that could turn into a goal here soon.
Micah Clark on the far wing gets shoved into the boards, but Kadera gets laid out. Micah Clark, a bit of a reverse hit, works out in his favor as they fight for it in the near wing, taken by the Raiders. Here they come past the red line, dump it into the zone. They go off for a change as the Cougs will have to plot a breakout here.
Zach Meyer was looking for a penalty. His stick got knocked out of his hand, and again, a call we have not seen made yet this game, but it's now happened twice.
Lex Ballard tried to put a shot on goal, but a defensive stick slowed it down as the Raiders pinned down in their own zone by their own goal line, trying to break it out. Pass off the boards, down ice. This will be icing. Yes, it will. The whistle blows, and the puck will be brought back into the Raiders zone. 11 minutes, 25 seconds left in a 5-5 hockey game. We've been talking about momentum swinging back and forth, but currently neither team able to snag the momentum back in this third period as we are still deadlocked at 5 apiece.
Cougars definitely getting more on the offensive side there. Again, creating chances. They're actually putting pucks on net that have an opportunity of going in, not just to raise the SOG column. And right now, it is important that they get one here if they can, because the Raiders climbing back in.
Cole Carlson tried to do it himself, pushing out in front, trying to get goal number 2, and he gets turned away. As the loose puck is cleaned up by the Raiders behind their own net. Pass out to the far wing, trying to clear it out, and they will. A backhand feed off the boards. Lucas Robinson has to go back out to play it. First line out for the Cougs. Max Lazaro, Dave Bushkin, Cole Carlson, and here comes Bushkin past the line. Gives it to Lazaro. Feeds it back to Bushkin. Far wing, shot on goal, just goes wide of the net. Kept in at the blue line by Lucas Robinson, the defenseman. He pushes it in behind net for David Bushkin. Gives it to Max Lazaro on the wing. Gives it back out to Lucas Robinson from the point. Shot from well out through bodies into the glove of Klinghoffer, who makes yet another save. 26 shots so far in this game for the Cougs, and Klinghoffer just trying to stay as strong as he possibly can.
He has been phenomenal in this third period. He has stopped countless opportunities that the Cougars have thrown at him, and they have thrown everything in a kitchen sink, but they just can't get anything by. Again, neither goalie wanting to give that one in that could be the difference.
Plenty of time left in this game. 10 minutes, 36 seconds left in the third period. 5-5, tie game. As the Cougs clear it back into the zone, Klinghoffer plays it off his pad, leaves it for 18. He plays it off the boards, down ice. Lucas Robinson back to clean up in his own zone as Barnard got laid out in neutral zone, lost his stick. As loose puck picked up here by Van Rayner, team captain, near wing. Puts a little dangle move on. Backhand shot. Just turned out by Klinghoffer. It was loose out in front, and they couldn't clean it up. As that puck chipped up over the net. Cleaned up by Barnard in his own corner. Gets shoved into the boards. Raiders trying to get it out of the zone. They find themselves pinned down by the Cougs. Can they clear it out? No, they can't. Kept in again by the Cougs. This is relentless. The forecheck. Brutal against the Raiders.
Absolutely phenomenal right now. They cannot get out of their own zone, and the Cougs also able to sweep it in over and over from the neutral zone when they are able to get it out to center.
Here come the Raiders in the Cougs zone. They finally break out as they have it pinned against the boards. Here comes number 44, Kadera. 2 goals tonight, looking for 3 as he passes out in front and gets denied by Sam Hembry. Kadera behind the net. Backhand pass out to number 22. Will he put a shot on goal? Yes, he will. It hits off the side of the net. Nowhere close. As Meyer, number 18, shot from the blue line. A bit of a change-up turned out by Alexi Cool. Saw it all the way as that puck gets cleared out. Matthew Taylor at the red line. Here we go. A one-on-one opportunity. Puts a shot on goal. Turned off by Klinghoffer. Is it kept at the blue line? No, it is not. Chipped up into the neutral zone, and the Cougs have to go back to play it. As number 22 is pestering them in their own zone.
Again, a short-lived offensive chance, trying to just spin blind passes out front, and they just can't get a connection at all.
Evan King puts a shot on goal off the pad of Klinghoffer, and the Raiders yet again turn out an opportunity and try and clear it out. But the Cougs forecheck, keeping it in. Sam Hembry from the blue line pushes it in deep, just pinning the Raiders down in their own zone with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third period.
Cougars just one step ahead in every aspect right now. They are winning races, winning board battles, and they're creating chances in the offensive zone. Klinghoffer has been a difference maker in this period.
Robarek gets the turnover, gets it to number 20, he pushes in. On the near side, leaves it for number 67, puts a shot on goal, bouncing puck, and it leaks out. Lexi Cool wasn't able to get his glove to it as Sam Hembry is able to clean it up. A lucky break for the Cougs as a high-arching shot gets to Matthew Taylor, who wins the foot race. No icing. Matthew Taylor tries to take it in the corner, loses his handle, but Cole Carlson's there to pick it up, who puts on a move, shakes off a defender. Can he get a pass off to someone? No, as said, puts a shot on goal, turned out. Heavy shot from the blue line, off the glove of Klinghoffer, loose out in front. Cole Carlson puts a shot on goal, sealed up by Klinghoffer. They blow the play dead, even though the puck kicked out. The refs lost sight of it. What a spoiled opportunity for the Cougs. Klinghoffer really sold the fact that he had the puck, even though it had kicked off. A stolen opportunity for the Cougs. Still 5-5 with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left in this third period.
My goodness, that puck was leaking right in the blue paint. Reed Mullen looked like he was going to cash it in, but unfortunately the referee's positioning on the opposite side, it looked like Klinghoffer had it from his angle, and he blew the whistle. And unfortunately for the Cougs, a lucky break for the Raiders as the whistle had gone early.
First line out for the Cougs in a golden spot right here with 8 minutes left. They can take the lead with a faceoff in the Raiders zone, won by the Cougs. Cole Carlson passes it in deep for Max Lazaro behind the net, but it's picked off by the Raiders. They try and break it out, try and play off the boards. Kept in, no. Gotten out by the Raiders as Carlson has it now, brings it back into the Raiders zone. Pass out in front for David Bushkin, puts a shot on goal, turned out by Klinghoffer. Loose out in front, hacking and whacking, smacking at the puck. He seals it off. How did he save that? Klinghoffer saved the initial shot. The rebound trying to get cleaned up by Bushkin, and he seals it off at the post. What a great save from Klinghoffer.
Wow, he has been unreal in this third. He has faced a ton more than Lexi Cool has. Lexi Cool has been sharp when his name has been called, but is incredible, just stopping every chance from the Cougars, and they've had a lot of great ones.
Carlson with a shot from well out, turned out by Klinghoffer. Ballard, a shot on goal, sealed by Klinghoffer. Man, we just keep saying his name again and again and again. As the first line stays out for the Cougs, they're trying to connect there, and they will get a change. They'll bring on the second line, but the first line, with those back-to-back opportunities, just unable to connect. 7 minutes, 34 seconds left in the third period, 5-5 hockey.
Completely going to work on this Raiders team, but just can't get the puck across the goal line, which is the goal of the game.
The Cougs won the faceoff, put a shot on goal, and it's kept in there by Alex Ballard, who feeds it to Van Rayner, a second liner on this team. Had 6 goals last night, yet to get on the sheet so far at all tonight. As they fight for it in the Raiders zone, the Cougs trying to keep it in, and they won't be able to as Barnard leaves it there for Kader, number 44, pushes down front, trying to put a move on. It's picked up by Van Rayner. What great defense there from the team captain to read the play and know where that puck was going. Cadence Kelly breaks into the zone on the near side, tries to shake off the defender. He's getting shoved off it as he somehow keeps possession on the far wing. Kept in by Lucas Robinson. No! They blow it dead off sides. An interesting call there as Lucas Robinson came in with a head of steam, trying to keep that puck in, trying to do his job as a defenseman, but it seems the referee just saw some white between the puck to make that call, to call it offsides.
The linesman, of course, has the best view in anyone here at the URC arena, but it certainly looked like that puck was on the blue. It looked like it could have been kept in, but of course, he makes the call and he has the final say.
Cougs bring it past the logo. Reed Mullen tries to break in on the near side. Pass out in front for Matthew Taylor. Had it poke checked away. He had a good scoring opportunity, but just got denied. As here come the Raiders, a 3-on-2 break, back pass for number 7, shot on goal, off the body of Alexi Cool, tries to seal it off. The rebound, stuffed again by Alexi Cool. The rebound again stuffed by Alexi Cool. Back-to-back saves. It's loose behind the nets. Lucas Robinson to clean it up. Plays off the boards, kept in by the Raiders. Another shot on goal, another save from Alexi Cool. As the rebound was cleaned up right onto the pads of Alexi Cool, puts the glove over the top of it, melts it down. We will have a face-off in the Cougar zone. 6 minutes, 21 seconds left, 5-5. This game deadlocked in the third.
If you ask me, it seems Cool might have gotten away with one there. It looked like he kind of tripped one of the Raiders players during that scramble as he was going to get it in behind the net. Referee doesn't call it, but again, he shuts the door, and this game's still tied with just a little time to go.
The Raiders looking to capitalize here, trying to take the lead as the pass over to number 24, shots on goal to open man. He scores! What a play! 24 over to Groberek. who buries it on the yawning cage, and nothing Alexi Cool could do. A beautifully drawn up play, and the Raiders take the lead late in this third period. That may have been the dagger.
100%, 6:08, all that's left. Teams have been vying for that lead this whole period. The Cougars have had the door slammed on them many, many times. Alexi Cool has been phenomenal when his name was called, but unfortunately, he's hung out to dry there. Great passing, great connection work, and it's just backdoor open cage. Defense for the Cougars nowhere to be found.
The story of this game is Alexi Cool getting no help from his teammates out on the ice. As Cole Carlson gets a steal, puts a shot on goal, turned out by Klinghoffer. What a great opportunity for Carlson, but Klinghoffer being the MVP of this third period for the Raiders. 6 minutes left on the clock, 5-6. The Raiders took the lead after that Groberek goal.
You believe this guy. He's stopping everything being thrown at him from whether it's top players or third line and fourth line. No matter what kind of chance is thrown at him, he is keeping it out of the cage.
The first line back out for the Cougs as here's a quick break, shut off by Keegan Lucas. Plays it off the boards. Left number 24 tries to clear it out. Can't do it. Number 24, Kadera at the logo, breaking it back in, just off sides. Number 9, Barnard tried to get his skate back over into the neutral zone. Didn't work out, and that could have been another great scoring opportunity to potentially get the dagger. But no, Barnard just offsides.
Yeah, the Raider captain possibly upset maybe with himself for just being a little bit too early, a little bit of a false start across the line, and now the faceoff will come outside.
Van Rainer to the faceoff circle. Won by the Cougs. Cadence Kelly tries to get it out of the neutral zone as he gets pinned, sandwiched into the boards, and that definitely hurt. They'll blow the play dead. Cadence Kelly had 2 Raiders absolutely slam him into the boards. Definitely rung his bell as he's slow to get up.
Cadence Kelly was crushed there by 2 different Raiders, it seemed. He is up and fine, but that puck, I believe, was kind of just not in sight of the official, so they blew it dead with 5.5 here to go. This game is getting down to the wire.
Second line out for the Cougs. Van Rainer wins the faceoff, pushes it into the Raiders zone, but they take it right back in the neutral zone. Getting pestered by this Wazoo forecheck as it hits off the referee yet again for yet another time in this game where the referees have gotten their bodies in the way as the Raiders clear it through the neutral zone into the Cougar zone. Near corner for icing. Micah Clark there to get the icing and bring this puck back into the Milwaukee zone. 5 minutes, 13 seconds left. Cougs down by a goal after Groberek got the go-ahead late in this third period.
I think these referees have, if we look at the stat sheet, they have to have quite the puck touches. I mean, they have been all over it tonight. They've been hit quite a few times and have created some bounces both ways.
Lex Ballard keeps at the blue line, puts a shot on goal, deflects off bodies out in front and into the netting. And we'll have a stoppage of play. Keep the faceoff in the Milwaukee zone. The Cougs will get a change, get some fresh bodies out on the ice. 6-5, Milwaukee leading late in this third period. 5 minutes left. Still plenty of hockey left to go. The Cougs definitely not out of this game, not by a long shot.
They seemingly have the edge right now, and they have this whole period. It's just unfortunate for them that the one goal that has been scored is for the Raiders.
The Raiders clear it out into the Cougs zone. Lex Ballard, the defenseman, back to play, a freshman. Stops and starts, plays it off the boards into the neutral zone, trying to keep the Raiders off the doorstep as that high puck is gloved down by Ballard, who pirouettes, goes back into his own zone, gets a pass there to Reed Moore, who gets shoved into the boards. For me, that was Ryan Brenner. No call. Lex Ballard moves out in front, puts a shot on goal. Just tipped off the defensive stick and wide of the nets as Lex Ballard's there to clean up his own rebound. Gets shoved into the boards by Groberek. He's been a stud all night tonight as he clears that puck up and out of the zone. Cougs have to go back to clean it up for icing as he'll be brought back into the Milwaukee zone. 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in this 6-5 hockey game. Milwaukee trying to edge time off this clock and potentially come away with the 1-goal win.
Huge hit there on Brenner in the neutral zone. He is still in the hunt for his first point of the season, and that easily could have met the requirements for either a charge or a boarding. No call is made, and the Raiders still trying to hang on.
The Cougs win the face-off, have it at the blue line. They scrum for it along the boards, but here come the Raiders. Here comes number 20, past the blue line, out in front. And they'll call it offsides. A mental mistake there from number 67, Groberek, who just couldn't keep his skate onside. And number 20 had a scoring opportunity, but just gets pulled back into the neutral zone by that offsides call.
An enormous break for the Washington State Cougars. That was a 2-on-1. The Cougars are trying to go all in here, and I think the Raiders are recognizing that. There was a cherry pick there. It looked like Groberek was kind of sitting in the neutral zone waiting for that loose puck to come out, and it almost paid off. But again, just a little too excited. entering the blue line.
Cougs trying to break it out of their zone, but the forecheck for the Raiders keeps it in. Lucas Robinson has to go back to clean it up. Stops and starts in his own corner, tried to clear it out in front. Max Lazaro, trying to clear it. Gloves it down at the logo. Here comes Lazaro. Blue line, near side. Tries to backhand out in front, deflected off a defensive stick. And the Raiders clear it out yet again. Trying to stuff the Cougs late in this game. Barnard. Pass over to the far side, deflected off the stick of Cole Carlson. Great defense. It's a pass out in front. He scores! Sam Barnard gets lucky, tips it in, and Alexi Cool, nothing he could do about it. And a 2-goal lead now for the Raiders late in this third period. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third period. 7-5, Milwaukee.
Well, as I'm the Problem by Morgan Wallen plays in the arena, Alexi Cool cannot agree. He has just had the unluckiest bounces tonight. That one goes off the skate of the man in front of the net after a beautiful defensive play and effort from Carlson and Reed Mullen to try to break that up, and they did well. But again, it just finds its way to the back of the net, and it extends the lead to 2.
Cougs staring up the mountain, a 2-goal lead for Milwaukee as they push it into the Raiders zone, but the Raiders clear it back out immediately at the logo. Cadence Kelly pushes it back into the Milwaukee zone. 3 minutes left on the clock, 7-5. Milwaukee leading by 2 in their own zone. Number 25 plays it off the boards, wheels out to the center, plays it through the neutral zone, down ice, onto the stick of Sam Hembry, who will drop it back for Keegan Lucas, past the logo, breaks into the zone. Far side, will he put a shot on goal? Yes, he will. Shot right into the chest of Ben Klinghoffer. And so far, nothing can get past this Milwaukee goaltender.
A good shot there from the former Tacoma Rockets captain. And you have to kind of keep your eyes on Alexi Cool. When is Lupinacci going to call him over the bench, if at all? Down 2 goals are the Cougars. And quite frankly, the way this game has gone, if you told me at the end of this period that this game is going to overtime, wouldn't be surprised.
First line on the ice for the Cougs as they win it. Push it in behind net. Pass out in front for Cole Carlson. Just goes wide of his stick as now Micah Clark has to go back along with Lex Ballard to restart this play and pull out a breakout.
Cougars need a speedy breakout here. They need to get Cool off if they're going to do it.
Max Lazaro tried to play it off his skate, but doesn't quite get it. And here comes the Raiders. Number 20. Past the logo, past the blue line, out in front. Backhands it over to Goberek. The pass goes wide, and Lex Ballard picks it up. Clears it out into the neutral zone. The Raiders having to touch up. Kept the blue line. Ballard along with Micah Clark going back to play it. Find his own nets, looking to break out. The forecheck for the Raiders, just pinning the Cougs down. They can't get out of the zone. Trying to whittle off the last remaining seconds of this period. So Micah Clark picks up the puck. Leaves it for Cole Carlson. Brings it past the red line, past the blue line. He's got David Bushkin. Will he option a pass? No, he's going to take it himself. Power move out in front. Puts a shot on goal. No, just goes wide. Wasn't able to keep his handle on it as he gets shoved off the puck. The Raiders still in their own zone, trying to clear it out. 2 minutes left in the period. Up by 2. Milwaukee trying to put this game away.
You can tell the Raiders are in full control. They realize that their opponents are in desperation mode, kind of cherry picking and picking their spots on offense, realizing the Cougs have to go all in here.
Here comes Sam Barnard, 2 goals tonight, out in front, tries to put a shot on goal, but 2 Cougar bodies shut him down. Cadera keeps it into the zone. The forecheck for the Raiders, just trying to watch this clock tick down to 0 as number 21 picks it up, puts a shot on goal off the body of Cool, kicks out for Lucas Robinson. Gives it to Cole Carlson, trying to exit the zone. He will, but it's picked right back up by the Raiders. A heavy hit along the boards. Cole Carlson got laid out, the superstar on this team, as Cadera picks up the puck. Tried to pass out in front. Loose puck. No one can see it. Right into the glove of Alexi Cool. As the Raiders tried to capitalize on a mental mistake from Reed Mullen, but Alexi Cool makes another great save. And it's still 7-5. Milwaukee leading with 1 minute and 6 seconds left in this period.
Although Cool stopped that one, that play right there, kind of the story of the game. Reed Mullen doesn't see that puck at his skates, and it's just kind of a wind-up shot and a free chance point blank for the Raiders. Luckily, their Cool was able to stop that one.
Cougs clear all the way down ice off the stick of Van Rainer. Down ice. No icing on the play. And the goaltender, Klinghoffer, is absolutely confused. That was very clearly icing, but no call from the referees as Milwaukee plays it down ice onto the goal of Alexi Cool. 44 seconds left. Time chipping away. The Cougs in desperation mode. Can they at least get one to make this a 7-6 game? Still 7-5 as Sam Hembry brings it past the blue line on the far side. Cool has exited the net. 6 men on the ice for the Cougs. They pass out in front for Van Rainer. Far wing, pass a shot on goal just wide of the nets. Cleaned up by Keegan Lucas, who backhands it over to Cole Carlson from the blue line. Back to Keegan Lucas at the goal line. Backhand pass out in front. Hacking, whacking at the goal. They're trying to clear it out. 3 Cougars, 1 Raider. Fighting for it, keeping Lucas behind the net. 10 seconds left in the period. Matthew Taylor there to try and play it, the freshman. Cleared off the boards and out. And ladies and gentlemen, the last 5 seconds tick off the clock, and that is the game. Pardon me, they call icing just in time with 0.2 seconds left in the third period. 7-5, Milwaukee leading. We'll have a face-off down in the Milwaukee zone. The Cougs have one opportunity on a quick shot to maybe tie up this game. And excuse me, they're going to let that 0.2 seconds just run off the clock, and that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. 7-5. Milwaukee wins it after 2 goals put up in the third period, and the Cougs blanked in period number 3. Alexi Kuhl faced 36 shots so far tonight. 7 go in after he received no help from his fellow Cougars out on the ice. Zach, what did we see in period number 3 of that game?
I'll tell you what, we saw a Vesna performance from the Raiders goaltender. My Klinghoffer was just unbeatable. He faced just about every chance, every which way, could not get it by him. The Cougars, like you said, blanked in this period, and it sure looked like the Cougars could have scored 4, maybe 5 goals in this period. It easily could have been a 10-7 game, but at the end of the day, it's not. Alexi Kuhl beat twice here in this period, and a 7-5 victory. The Raiders just taking advantage of constant Cougar mistakes in that one.
A somber way to end 3 games of hockey. The first 2 nights against Gonzaga, domination from the Cougs, and coming into game number 3, they are unable to get done against an unfamiliar foe. One of probably the only times they'll ever play Milwaukee SOE, and they fall 7-5. Coach Fibonacci has said repeatedly that in the ACHA, you need 5 goals in order to win. And going into period number 3, the Cougs had 5 goals, but you know who else had 5 goals as well? It was Milwaukee, deadlocked 5-5, and coming into that third period, it was going to be who wanted it more. It was going to come down that third period, and you could tell Milwaukee wanted it more, picking up those 2 goals to be able to sail to that 7-5 win. And again, just a rough night for the Cougs. Hank Hamlet goes down. You're not starting Melissa Hovnen. Not the best hockey that this team has played, especially after holding Boise State back in that Boise showcase to only losing by 1 goal against the top team in the country, to then come out, get punched in the mouth by Gonzaga, still pick up 2 wins, and then of course kind of get punched in the mouth a little bit by Milwaukee. Not the ceiling for what this team can be.
Absolutely not. And to think Kuhl faced this many shots, about maybe a little less than in just the first period of that Boise State game, and only allowing 1, tells you how good of a goaltender he is. And so when you look at 7 goals on 36 shots, that's absolutely something you should take with a grain of salt. He was phenomenal when called on tonight. Lots of bounces that just went the Raiders' way. Lots of defensive breakdowns in the zone for the Cougars. And unfortunately, 2 goals and 1 late there from Grobrick with 6:08 to go in the third that really kind of put them over. The Cougars trying again, but they could not for the life of them beat Klinghoffer. He was outstanding and really the difference maker in that final 20 minutes. But it all comes down to discipline and the penalties. The Cougars took many penalties in this one. And if you ask me, with those undisciplined takes, they kind of snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory, as it seems as though they had that game won in the second period, but allowed them back into the game with those penalties and 2 goals, tie game, and now you have a loss in the third.
A lot of lessons that the Cougs can take from this matchup as they pick up loss number 1 on the regular season. 3 wins for the Cougs, 1 loss after tonight's 7-5 win by Milwaukee. And the Cougs have a little bit of time to rest, as their next game is not until October 17th and 18th back in Moscow, Idaho, where they will finally have home ice. Of course, this was technically a home game for the Cougs, Eastern Washington being their home ice for the time being. But by the time we get to October 17th, October 18th, their next games, they will have their home ice back in Moscow, Idaho. But nonetheless, the Cougs, their first loss of the regular season, 7-5. Milwaukee takes it here in Eastern Washington, Eastern Washington University Rec Center in Cheney, Washington. We thank you so much for listening to this KUGR Sports broadcast. Again, you're listening to Cougar Hockey only on KUGR Sports. I'm Smith Slye, joined by Zach McFarlane in the broadcast booth. We thank you. Remember, it is a great day to have a great day, and go Cougs.